Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our December board meeting. We do have a big day today. It's our annual Christmas lunch. We'll be seeing a lot of our staff, which we're so grateful to see at least once a year. So I get to join us every meeting. We have our appointments and we have a delegation. So I'm going to start by acknowledging and respecting the Indigenous people within these traditional lands we are meeting today. I'll call for adoption of the agenda, please. Hewitt and Weatherhead, any additions, corrections? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. An adoption of the minutes from November. Thank you, thank you. Any corrections? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried, thank you. And we are going to start with our delegation, the Kootenay Boundary Farm Advisor Program. We're so grateful to have you, Sarah. You're sharing your screen. Fabulous. You're still muted.
Okay, perfect. Hopefully you are seeing a slideshow at full screen.
It's not full screen.
Oh, okay. Let me just adjust that. I apologize. We had major snowstorms here in Golden, and so I had to come into town and present out of my car, but we will make this work.
You don't even have power right now, as far as I know.
I do not have power.
Wow.
That is why I'm in town. So
I am impressed, and we appreciate your efforts. Okay, you're full screen. We hear you. Thank you, Sarah. Go ahead.
All right, we'll keep this to 10 minutes. And so thank you very much for joining me, Kootenay Boundary Farm Advisors. This is simply an opportunity to give you an annual update on our progress, on the work that we're doing, and an opportunity to give our sincere thanks to the Regional District of Central Kootenay for funding this program, because the funds are used to help support local farmers and local agriculture. So it's a very important project, and I really appreciate the ongoing support. So that's what I'm here to represent today. So I'll be giving a very brief overview of what it is that Kootenay Boundary Farm Advisors does for the community, just for anyone who's less familiar. And that does include one-on-ones and educational events. I'll also comment on our communication strategy, some of the collaborations that we are having with other organizations and partners, and then a brief note to say that we are comfortably sitting on budget. And just a brief photo from the Central Kootenay Xerifox tree crops in Harrop. We had a few farm visits with this farm today. They're a perennial nursery, and we actually had a wonderful field day there. So we actually spent some good time in the Central Kootenays this season, myself personally, and I'm usually covering the East Kootenay. So I was really grateful to get a chance to see farmers from your area. So what the Kootenay Boundary Farm Advisors does is offer free extension services to any farmers in our area, whether they're commercial or whether they're aspiring. We are there to help with free information, and we have a team of advisors, 3 professional agrologists who are qualified to answer questions, and also the 3 of us all live in the Kootenays, and therefore are giving information and references and resources that are locally appropriate, because as you are well aware, Central Kootenay agriculture conditions, climate is all very different from, for instance, the Lower Mainland or the Okanagan. And so it's important that we have information here where folks can actually access it. And importantly, we do farm visits. This is a service that's not really provided by any other extension programs. And 2 weeks ago, I did 3 farm visits in the Central Kootenays in the Nakusburton area, and actually got to go out on farm and help folks look at their soil, look at their fencing, look at their chicken coop, and come up with ideas on how they can become more successful. And there's really no replacement for being on farm. A farmer can call and ask a question, and we're always available to answer questions by phone or email. But there's really no comparison to being able to go on to farm, because then also you will see more things and folks will be able to just think more holistically about their question. So our area does include the 3 regional districts of the Kootenays, as well as a portion of the Columbia Shuswap based on the funding from the Columbia Basin Trust. And again, we just really want to thank you. Our work would not be possible without the financial contributions of the Central Kootenay Regional District. And this program is not replicated anywhere else in BC. There is no equivalent to this program. So we are really a success story in terms of providing direct support to farmers. So some metrics to go along with those claims. So one-on-ones can include a phone call, email, or farm visit. And we set an annual target of about 150 of those interactions. The actual duration or intensity of each interaction is completely different for each farmer. Sometimes it's a quick question, and sometimes it's a long drawn out planning or hand-holding through grant applications. And so we provide whatever is needed. This year in 2025, in the first 3 quarters alone, so these numbers were closed off at the end of September, and we had 175 one-to-one interactions with farmers, 175 times that we actually directly helped somebody out with the question, and 54 times that we were actually on farm with our boots on the ground. And like I say, that's only reflecting the first 3 quarters. So the important thing here is that we are hitting our targets, and the targets remain sustainable within our budget and bandwidth. And we're always just looking on ways to make those interactions more impactful, more relevant. Some of the questions, just a very quick snapshot of the kinds of things that we're helping folks out with. Lots of questions on fencing and water, rotational grazing, irrigation. That cluster is a lot of what we're helping folks out with this year, but also certainly soil, greenhouse, elk predation, and then things like farm status succession and applying for grants. We do a lot of help. If folks are applying for grants, they can call us and we'll do a video call. So they're applying for the grants, but if they're not sure how to phrase their response, or they have technical questions, we provide that service free of charge. Some of our field days, we target about 6 to 9 field days per year. And we actually had 15 events we planned roughly 6 to 9 events, and we had 15 events in 2025, 6 field days, including, as I mentioned, up in Harrop at the Zero Fox Tree Crops Farm. That was a 4-hour day. We had about 20 folks out, lots of different ages and interests. And so we were really excited to get that level of engagement. It's always tricky during the field days. It's the most impactful way to get people together with other farmers, with experts. We get amazing feedback from our field days. But as you can imagine, field days happen when farmers are busy. And so I also love that we provide a number of webinars. This year we did 9. We are already gearing up. We're going to have a number happening this winter as well, January through March. We have a number of webinars already planned coming up. But some of the ones that we did this year in 2025, again, looking at those kinds of questions that we're hearing from farmers during one-on-ones, help us steer what content is going to be most impactful. If you hear a question from one farmer, there's probably a bunch more that have a similar question or related questions. So we do try to listen to those things and steer our webinars and field days to address those questions. So for example, in 2025, we did a number of questions on soil building best management practices, on electric fencing, on how to access agricultural funding, and lots on water and drones. Another wonderful benefit of the webinars is that they can be recorded. So if folks aren't available during the field season, they're too busy farming, but they're interested, they can always access we have 60 videos on our YouTube channel. And so that's a great way for folks to come back to that information during a quieter time. And for instance, this year, because we had 9 webinars, we were able to record and upload all 9 of those, some with some editing, for instance, this Getting Farm Status in BC. During the actual event, there's lots of chatting with farmers that might be private. So we do take that away. So you get more value out of attending the actual event, but at least there's something to reference later. And this year we experimented and actually recorded one of our field days. So that Harrop event that I've mentioned a couple times, if you want to go have a peek at what it actually looked like, you can go on our YouTube channel and snoop around and see what we were doing, what we were talking about, who showed up. or just simply learn about how to start your very own perennial tree nursery. Maybe some of you are hoping to do that in your spare time. Communications, we have lots of ways that people can tune in to the information. So as I mentioned, we have a YouTube channel with 60 videos and over 1.2 thousand subscribers. We have an active Facebook and Instagram channel. Our newsletter comes out every other month, plus a few extra bonus ones now and again. We use that really to promote upcoming events, upcoming grant or funding opportunities, and then also to share success stories. It's a great way for us to let farmers know that they're not alone and that there's other people that are successful and doing wonderful things in our area. And so we love to highlight that. So if you haven't subscribed already, our newsletter is a wonderful source of information, and we do try to keep it very lean. We actually got really great feedback. We went to the BC Organic Conference with a delegation from the Kootenays last week, and we were really pleased to hear from other government agencies and nonprofits that they see our newsletter as being very reliable and very high quality. And that's just wonderful feedback to hear when you work on something, to actually see that people are reading it, and maybe more people than you expect, and a broader audience. So that's satisfying that the work is landing. And of course, our website has links to all of these things. Collaborations, very briefly, we are always working on collaborating with other organizations. This is just a brief list of folks that we did have meetings with, that we partnered on events with, that we cross-promoted. The point is that we are not trying to operate in a silo. We are always trying to leverage cross-connections so that everybody can succeed. I'm getting short on time, so I won't say much about the Soil Building Network, except to say that this was a collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture over the last 2 years, and we have a number of case studies published on the ministry website if you're interested to learn more about this. Budget, 3/4 of the way through the 2025 year, we were 3/4 of the way through the budget, so I'm very comfortable with that. This is about average, and so I think the budget that we put out in the 2024 RFP is a good one. I think it's reasonable and reliable, and most of the money does get spent directly on assisting farmers with very little in the way of admin and operations. And I'll leave it there, but I know we have 10 minutes for questions, so I can jump back to any topic that people are interested in. But thank you very much for your time, and definitely for your support of this program.
Thank you so much, Sarah. If you want to take awesome. Thank you. Now I can see everybody. So we do have a couple of questions. Director Jackman, Popoff, and Newell so far. Go ahead, Director Jackman.
Great, thanks, thanks, Sarah. First, I want to reassure you, Christine in our office here does send your monthly updates, which are really nice snapshot numbers of events. You can read it in 30 seconds. Plus, forwards your newsletters as well, which I like to follow in detail. So the entire group of directors plus key staff get those every month. If we dug back a decade or so, I heard from farmers how the province wasn't doing extension services, no experts, nobody come out, especially maybe beyond the Fraser Valley. And it appears now, as I look at your newsletters, your events and stuff, as if the province is stepping up a little more. There are the technical experts, and actually we now have some ministry staff in the Kootenays again. So the question is, would you agree that actually KPFA has been a very positive catalyst to getting the province to work side by side in partnership?
Absolutely. Absolutely, I would say that. And just in support of that, that was part of the reason why we justified going to the BC Organic Conference, is that we wanted more exposure. We want the ministry, and we want other regions to see that this is a success story and see the impact that's happening, and maybe encourage them to pony up a little bit.
So your value is twofold: direct services provided, and actually getting the province to realize that food happens beyond the Fraser Valley.
Yes. Yeah.
Director Popoff.
Thank you, Chair. Through the Chair, I live right beside Linden Lane Farm, so you're probably familiar with that. But in the Slocan Valley, we have farms, but we have families that have 3 acres or whatever, and they grow their own vegetables and everything else. And sometimes if there's an excess, they take it to the farmer's market. Do you provide that service to, let's say, a family, like myself or whatever, if I have probably about a half an acre that I plant a garden, but I'd like somebody to come out there, take a look at it, soil, watering, etc. Do you provide that service to individuals like that?
Yes, but with the asterisk that so we do not exclude anyone who is a food producer, and that's a really important part of this program relative to other programs. Lots of programs will have a cutoff of having farm status, and that excludes so many, including small scale commercial producers, never mind people who are maybe truly at a hobby or self-sufficiency scale. We don't have that exclusion. However, if somebody is truly gardening for themselves, we're going to really limit our effort on that because the intent here is supposed to be for folks who are producing food for others. If they are and this happened 2 weeks ago when I was down in Burton, I met a wonderful farmer. She's producing for her family, maybe 90% of what she produces is for her, and then she wants to sell the 10%. That's 10% commercial, and so I'm very, very happy to do whatever I can to support her along with any other farmer. If she's in a situation where it's truly gardening for herself, that's not a farm anymore. And so that's where I start to be a little bit hesitant to use the community's resources on that. But if they're in a situation where they're aspiring to sell and contribute to their community's food security, then absolutely we'll jump in.
Yeah, thank you. That answers my question. But what I was driving at is, if somebody's got 3 acres, whatever, and they've got 2 or 3 children that live a little away, so they basically grow the food and provide it to their extended family, and they would like support on the soil sampling, the watering, etc. So I think you've answered my question. There is a certain limit that you can provide.
Yeah, I won't turn them away, but I will be a little bit, be careful that I don't go too crazy down the rabbit holes with them unless they actually are planning on scaling. But I'm not going to turn them away if they're asking good questions about food production.
Thank you.
Thank you. Director Newell.
Thank you. Thanks, Sarah. This was very good. My name's Tom Newell. Building on advocacy that Director Jackman raised yesterday at Rural Affairs, we had an interesting file that linked the Agricultural Land Commission and perhaps the challenges that food producers are facing in simply in trying to extend the use of their land within the agricultural land reserve so that more economic viability exists. And I just wondered, A, your take on it, B, is there advocacy from your organization on that issue or anything else you might want to add to it?
Sure. So I'll say that KBFA doesn't participate in advocacy beyond advocacy directly for farmers. So for example, I will advocate if I think that there should be grants or funding opportunities or there should be changes to those things that will better serve farmers. I'll advocate on those sorts of items. But generally, we stay well away from politics, from legislation, regulation, and business. We try to really focus on how can we help farmers grow more food. Those are the questions that we come back to. So that said, as an organization that has amazing connections and relationships that have been built since 2017 with farmers, I expect we have the greatest registry of farmers in the region. And so when there are organizations that want to have meetings or community engagement with farmers, we will absolutely support those connections and promoting of those things to make sure that farmers are being contacted and involved. But that's more of a promotional, collaborative organization role rather than taking on the roles of taking a position and pushing for it. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. I don't see anyone else on the speakers list. I did want to note a couple of things. First, just on the not political advocacy, but working with farmers and new ways of doing things. I want to thank you for working with us on the Goat River watershed. We saw that go out yesterday and very excited to see how that's working. So it's great. Farmers are a big part of that conversation. For the board, I did want to, I think we've said this a few times, but just in case, the Kootenay Boundary Farm Advisors is a tri-district initiative that was started between the 3 regional districts based on our ag area plans. where we all noted that there was no extension agents left in this region, well, left across the province. And so we worked together to create a program. And the lovely thing about it, and you really named it, Sarah, was the ability to make it made in the Kootenays, such as the farm status requirements. That is an incredible opportunity to work with the small farmers that Director Newell was referencing that tend to not fit into the farming box of regulations, but are still trying really hard. So thank you for that. Yeah, that was pretty much what I wanted to note. I'm so grateful for the program. And in terms of director seeking, we will probably discuss this in terms of funding ongoing in January. And Sarah, any last words from you? Just really great. You also really went the distance to participate with us today. Thank you.
Well, I just want to thank you all for attending. This program, I think, is one of the most important things that's available out there for farmers. Just in its ability to be inclusive and accessible and regionally relevant, there just really isn't any replacement for this. And I just really hope that you all feel very good about what you're doing for local food security. So thank you very much for your ongoing support.
Thank you, Sarah. And I failed to mention that we have actually gone to the Minister of Agriculture several times to encourage them to kind of come back to the table, but under the program we've already designed because it works so well for us.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah.
very
Have a
much.
great day.
Bye now.
All right, directors. Oh, so good to start the day with good stuff. CAO, you have some introductions.
Sure. Through the chair, just a little bit of a domino effect. Actually, Grant is our grants coordinator. She took a position back at the Creston District Rec Complex. So filling that position is Monique St. Louis. She was working with our HR department. And now taking that role in the HR department is Savannah Blay, who was working as an auxiliary at our front desk. So you might have seen her from time to time here. So a little bit of a domino effect there that has now completed itself.
Good stuff. Okay, 3.1, it is recommended that we refer this one to January. Staff is preparing some feedback based on our questions. So if someone would like to, thank you, Buckwood, second. On the propriety referral, any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? Opposed, carried. 3.2, we just noted that this was presented yesterday at the Rural Affairs Committee. We had moved it to the board, but given Rural Affairs and our work plan was presented in the same meeting, we connected the two. With recommendations, Ryan Dell.
Sure, I move the recommendation to, well, as stated, and read all the numbers will change in for 2025.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you, Hewitt. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And Castlegar.
I'll move it.
Thank you, Hannah.
As presented, a letter of thanks to the Kellys who have run the Pass Creek campground for many years. So if we can send them a nice letter, that would be great.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you, McFadden. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Area A, back to you, Dr. Mendy.
Yeah, the Area A EDC appointment, sorry, no, this one is the grant. This is what I get for having me, two-sided, and I had one step before. I apologize. I moved the recommendation of the grant into the Timber Farmers.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you, Graham. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Locan Valley Services, is this you, Director Director Munn Popoff?
Yes, it sure is. And we've got two recommendations. The first one is that the board directs staff to prepare an amendment to Sub-Regional Services Committee bylaw number 2242, 2014, that includes the chair of the Slocan Valley Services Committee rotate on a yearly basis amongst the members.
Second. Thank you, Len. I did just want to check on this because procedurally we do re-elect a chair every year for every committee. It's always a new election beginning of the year. So what is different about this one?
Yeah, I'd like to expand on that. We have one rural director on there and 3 municipal directors. By rotating the chair amongst all 4 of us gives us an opportunity during a 4-year term to chair that committee. And by chairing that committee, the municipal directors, including the rural director, will get the experience of chairing a meeting and addressing the issues that are prevalent to the Slocan Valley. So that's the intent of it, to basically expand it rather than elect one chair that's there, gets reelected every year for 4 years. This is the shared chairmanship amongst all 4 directors, and it actually will work out quite well because we get elected for a 4-year term.
Okay, so sorry, that's different than what I thought this motion meant. This is actually requiring you to rotate your chairs annually. So I just want to check in that staff are aware that that's actually the amendment, and then I'll go to you, Jackman. Joe? Thumbs up, okay. Jackman, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, we touched on this briefly, agenda prep. And since then, I thought we actually do have a precedence because we have the 3 sub-regional waste chairs and we rotate
Yeah.
every meeting. And really, when you look at the workload there and prep and stuff like that, it just makes sense. So it's, I know this is a year at a time, but it just makes sense to rotate workload plus engage, the little additional engagement with staff by all of them. So we have a precedence.
Great. I was just noting that it's a rotation, not necessarily an election annually, because that's normal. Okay, thanks. All those in favor? Opposed? Opposed, what, call for, or are you just delayed?
So,
So I am in favor.
Yeah, okay. All right, thank you. Your next motion, go ahead.
Yeah, the second recommendation is that the board approve an amendment to the 2025 financial plan for Area H, New Denver, Silverton, and Slocan Parks Service 203 Galena Trail Bridge Replacement Project to increase the grant's revenue by $17,500, increase transfer from reserves by $16,672, and increase capital expenditures by $34,172.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you. Main discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Regional Accessibility Advisory Committee. Director DeBoon, this is a letter of support for Creston. Do you want to move this motion? Do we still have DeBoon? Oh, there you are. Sorry.
Yeah, I can read this motion.
Go ahead.
The recommendation is that the board send a letter of support on behalf of the Regional Accessibility Advisory Committee to the town of Creston for their application to Spark BC for the Millennium Park Accessible Washroom Upgrade Project.
I'll second here. I'll second. Yep. Sorry.
Okay, great. Discussion. Read the minutes, read the letter, good stuff. All those in favor? Thank you. Anybody opposed? 4.1.6, NDCC, Director Page, is that you?
Second.
The board approved the RDCK enter into the municipal services agreement with the city of Nelson for bylaw services community to a maximum value of $24,850 plus GST for the period of December 1st to November 31st, 2026. The chair and the corporate officer will be authorized to provide the necessary documents.
And it was seconded. Jackman, you have a question?
yeah, I mean, it makes sense because the Nelson bylaw swinging past every little road and every meter continually. And so this is a way to moderate the parking. Question was when I read through it, more important than having somebody walk by and remind people that they shouldn't leave their car there. Who collects the money, processes it, who chases people from pay? Does that simply revert to the established Nelson City? Process?
You. Go ahead, Director Page.
Yeah, we've discussed this extensively over the years, and the reality is that we don't have the authority as a regional district to enact bylaws within a city. So this agreement allows the city to use its bylaw enforcement powers to do that. They collect the money through the existing systems of bylaw, and then we do a revenue share that is that comes back to us, but most of it gets burned up in the actual execution of the contract. The main purpose of this agreement is to have those officers in the parking lot and ensuring that the parking lot is available for the users of the NDCC.
Thank you, Director
I
Page.
did have a bit of a follow-up then, because the old policy, and it goes back really quite a while, his first term, I think, the policy was that the parking revenue in this community would raise enough money to pay for roughly half of roads and other maintenance requirements for the municipal roads. So there's a much higher fee for parking in this community than many other communities. So the revenue sharing, it's just curious sort of how that went. Will some of the revenue from this go back to pay for the long-term maintenance of that? Surface of pavement, that kind of stuff. This city is already enjoying that benefit from the rest of their revenue.
Go ahead, Paige.
So we're not trying to make, there's no fee, pay for parking at the NDCC. So this is really just a cost component. We couldn't hire our own private contracting because we can't enact our own bylaws within the jurisdiction of the city of Nelson. And the big points within, just on the city side, we have a pretty detailed marketing plan that's gone through a lot of public consultation. Its goal, aside from paying for roads and sidewalks and transportation, is actually to achieve a 15% vacancy rate. That's the driving force of a lot of that fee revenue. It's like, it's set to make sure that we're getting enough vacancy to have rotation, more so than it's set to achieve any kind of budgetary goal.
Okay, I think we're good. Thank you.
New mayor.
Thanks. And you're still cheaper than the city of Vancouver, so. All those in
Always a
favor?
selling point.
Anybody opposed? Thank you. Good teamwork between us. Cascaron District Rec Commission, who would like to take those motions? Hannah Graff, go ahead.
Okay, super pleased to move that the board approve the RDCK enter into a lease agreement with Robson Rec Society to operate the plan for Robson Community Park to a maximum value of $10 plus GST per year for a period of 5 years commencing March 15th, 2026. And that the chair and corporate officer be authorized to sign the necessary documents, and further that the cost be paid from S222, the arena, Castlegar complex, Castlegar areas, and areas INJ.
Okay, great. Thank you. Second, thank you, McFadden. Discussion? Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? Thank you. And your next one, and feel free to just read the primary aspect.
Yeah.
No problem.
So this is just I move that we renew approve the new contract with Castlegar Seniors for a 5-year term.
Great. Second, thank you, McFadden. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Thank you. That carries. You're in the next one.
And this one is to just renew a 3-year agreement with Tech Metals for access to the road access to the Waterloo Eddy Park.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you. Discussion? Sorry, was that it? Yeah, go ahead, Cunningham.
Thank you, discussion. Question to the chair. Why don't 3 years, is that the maximum?
You know, can I, through the chair, answer? I have the exact same question. It's always been a 3-year term, so I guess it's a 3-year term. Tech sort of drives this one, not us, but yeah, I asked the exact same question and
Okay, great.
got sort of the same answer.
Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? Thank you. That's carried. And your next motion?
Okay, this one's participants only, and I think I should read it out.
Yeah, no problem.
That the board include $280,000 for capital expenditures in the draft 2026 financial plan for rec facility Castlegar and areas I and J service S222 to procure the services required to plan for the development of a new arena, and further that the $280,000 be paid back from the new capital construction service should the project receive approval through public referendum and borrowing proceed.
Second, thank you, McFadden. And David, off here on the list, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. In the notation underneath 4.1.7, staff, there's a notation that says staff has received direction to look into alternative sources of funding to procure the services required to plan for the development of a new arena. And at our rec commission, what this meant was that the city of Castlegar and Area J are proceeding with this project. Area I is not part of the project. But what's happened with this motion, there could be a resultant requisition increase of 10%, money that we need in service S222 to maintain existing facilities. So the questions and what staff was asked to do was, is it possible to use our RDCK feasibility planning service? Is it possible to use community works funds? And at the meeting, staff said that yes, that was possible, that money could come from the city of Castlegar and Area J. So basically, does staff have any comments to make before I vote on this? Was that investigation done?
Those in the room.
Okay, you get my question. Thanks.
Got it. Thank you. Go ahead, Joe.
Through the chair, we weren't commenting on whether this, just want to be clear, staff weren't commenting on whether the city of Castlegar or Area J should commit any additional funding. The question was, is the project Community Works eligible? Yes, it is. It's a planning project which would lead to a capital development of a recreational facility. That is eligible, but that would be, that's a separate decision. The other question was, could the commission, and the committee still can, because we're still in budget. All that this recommendation does, it allows our project management team to start the process of the work. How we fund that can still be determined through the budget process. But it was asked about whether we could use the, would this be something that would be eligible for feasibility funding? The answer is, we could make that request to the board, but the use of feasibility funding is a board decision. But the commission could make that request. But that feasibility funding reserve is, I think, only around $50,000 right now. Don't quote me on that, but it's in that area, because the board did use some of that funding last year.
Thank you. Does that answer your question, Director Davidoff? Your committee can review options.
Yeah,
and they don't qualify for Community Works.
Yeah, what it does, Chair, it summarizes kind of the discussion, but unfortunately, given that this is all coming out of Service S222 for a project that is actually going to have if it passes, is going to have its own service, and those bylaws are being created and things like that. Unfortunately, I will have to speak against this use of S222 funds, Chair, and I will vote against it and would like my vote recorded as opposed.
Thank you, Director Davidoff.
Yeah, I just want to say that if it goes forward, the new services created, S222 gets paid back the $280,000.
Thank you. It's in the motion.
Chair,
Forward.
Can we
I'd
not
like to-
do back and, sorry,
Yeah.
Davidoff?
I'd like to respond to that.
Then just put your hand up and let us wait till the procession of speakers. I've got you. Okay.
I'm sorry, Chair, I've got tiny screen I can't see right now.
You can just wait a moment. So Hannah
Okay.
Graff, thank you for pointing out that the motion includes the provision that the funds would be paid back. It doesn't prevent him from opposing it. That's fine.
No,
Davidoff, you can still oppose it. Do you need to add further to that?
Yeah, I have a response to that. Basically, what happens if the referendum fails, the money will not be paid back. And if there's an alternative way of funding it up front, so
Okay.
that the money never comes out of S222, that's what I was looking for. And that's not being offered up. So that's the response. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Okay. All those in favor? Sorry? Oh, yeah, participants only. My apologies. So this is Castlegar INJ.
Yeah.
Financial plan.
It
One
says
second, Angela,
participants only,
please.
So through the chair, when it is the draft financial plan, it's not an all vote wait.
Thank you. Okay, so Castlegar and Jay are in favor. I is opposed. I is recorded opposed. Got it? We're good? Thank you very much. Okay. Thank you very much. Director Davidoff, can you mute? Thank you. Crescent Valley Services received no recommendations.
I would put the motion forward as fine. There is a correction.
There's no motion, but if you need to make a correction in the minutes, you can.
In the minutes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say. Thank you for that. 7.2, the error is, in the last sentence. And it reads now, confirm that there is the ability to have bike carriers. It should read that there are bike carriers.
Okay, thanks. So it's related to the transit item. There are bike carriers was the confirmation. Okay, thank you. You're good, Ange? Thanks. 4.1.9, CSAC, this is you, Vandenberg. Go ahead.
That the 25,000 in grants for community sustainable living advisory committee, 105, be removed from the draft 2026 financial report.
Thank you. Second discussion. Paige?
I recognize this is participants only, but just in connection with the following two items that come forward. I see that we're cutting $25,000 in grants, but then we're going into the LCAP funding for $30,000. So maybe I could get some information on what CSLAC is proposing to be doing with its committee, and is this just removing that obligation within the service to do that innovative work and remove that funding, but then to come to these larger pots that we have as a board and get their funding that way for the projects.
So in terms of what CSLAC is doing, I'd recommend you come. You were at the meeting. I appreciate that. Getting into that at this moment is quite difficult. Every year we can determine if we're going to proceed with the 25,000 in grants. It is a discretion the committee has. And for the last 2 years, we've opted to not do the 25,000 with various areas being removed for acquisitions increasing significantly. And this is one way we're dealing with it. When it comes to the LGCAP funding, you'll see a report where we are actually applying LGCAP to several services. CSLAC is requested for 2 of those items. So you can vote on those as you wish there, but LGCAP is being spread across, I believe, 5 services when you read that report. So it's a deeper conversation, and we don't know where CSLAC is going is the short answer. But on the discretion we have on an annual basis, this is what this committee has directed at this time.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Further discussion, this is participants only because it's the draft plan. Thank you for pointing that out to us, Angela. Further discussion? All those in favor? I can't remember who's in the service or not, but there we go. Anybody?
Self-identified.
Yeah. Are you putting your hand up or?
Yeah, I was just saying it's my last.
That's your last hand up for CSLAC? Okay, Kay's one of the ones out. Thank you. For the next 2, I just want to note the last and further that this item be included for board's review is not a part of the motion. That was just staff direction that you saw it on the addenda so that directors could read what the proposals were for in detail. So go ahead, Director Vandenberg.
Thank you. All vote weighted. Number 2, that the board authorize staff to allocate the maximum of 20,000 from the local government climate action program grant to the Rural Mobility Community Advisory Committee Phase 2 and the 2 unfurls.
Do we have a second?
Second, but I have questions.
Yeah, and I just want to make a quick note that the Rural Mobility Advisory Committee actually addresses all areas in the regional district. So that is a distinction between the CSLAC participants and where these projects are lying that was discussed yesterday, just to kind of come back to your question, Director Page. So I got Jackman and Page.
Yeah, thanks. So this looks too definitive to me with respect to LGCAP when we have the 5 projects proposed here. So I thought perhaps the better wording should be amended to read allocate to a maximum of $20,000 subject to final budget approval from the LGCAP action program.
I think that's a friendly amendment.
I agree.
Do you have that, Ange? Subject to
The final approval.
Subject to final budget approval.
Oh, budget approval. Thank you.
okay, friendly amendment. You got that? Thank you. Go ahead, Paige.
I was just gonna point out that this motion says account 43021, whereas the subsequent one says grants 43021. So I believe account is supposed to say grants.
Okay.
Certainly friendly. And then I was gonna say, I appreciate the rural mobility is inclusive of the entire board, but what's happening in some pockets is we're having these sidebar conversations where we're not having a fulsome conversation about all the priorities that would be impacting outcome. So that's where
I'm just highlighting it. I know we kind of all recognize and see the head nod, so that's why I was bringing it up in the first place.
Well, we do have the full LG cap suggested allocations in this board report. And I think it is a bit challenging because what we're trying to do is go to the committees where these are housed, but LG cap is a general administration grant. That's where it's held. So we do have the report going through everything that we're looking at allocating to complete that. So hopefully that kind of brings it back as an overview.
I think as long as we start with having more of those climate conversations here.
Yeah.
As opposed to off in a silo, that's what we need.
Sure.
Just through the chair, and I don't know if this is a question through to Paris. Is this for the 2026 draft financial plan?
Thank you. Yes.
Okay, so through the chair, the motion should reflect that.
Okay,
That is what I tried to do, Chair, but it's subject to.
subject to the draft
Well, the
2026.
final budget approval, I mean, it won't just fund.
Okay. And do you know where to put that?
Just make sure that it says for the draft 2026.
To 2030, whatever the plan's called, the
Yeah.
5-year plan.
Maybe throw it in the end for the
Okay.
service, yeah.
And do you want me to remove the account number?
I think we kind of standard
Yeah, just
started
grants,
doing
yeah,
that.
grants expense.
Okay, Maine, I did see your hand. Is it on this motion?
Yes, it is. It's in response to Director Page queries about where this all is landing and comments that there's sidebar conversations going on that lead to these. We've been having some discussions in CSLAC and we're trying to get it to be an all board discussion because the work that CSLAC does is not, it doesn't recognize borders. So we do work on rural mobility and that affects the municipalities and all of the other rural areas that are not specifically members of CSLAC. And so there's ongoing conversation and it's gonna have to come to full board to deal with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, participants only waited. Oh, really?
Because it's draft.
Draft financial plan.
But it's LG cap, which is general admin. It's not service funds.
Then it's all vote, not weighted.
Yeah, okay, it is all vote. So yeah, and I do want to acknowledge Director Page to join CSLAC online. And we will come back to that conversation at another time. It's a big one. And we do need to find out a better way to work with that service. So on this motion, which is all vote, but not weighted, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. The next one, go ahead, Director Vandenberg.
All but weighted, number 3, that the board authorize staff to allocate to a maximum of $10,000 from the local government climate action program grant for the Rural Mobility Community Advisory Committee Phase 2 project Kootenai Rideshare User Interface Improvements and the 2 and furthers, although I think that account number that's listed needs to be removed.
I think we'll make the friendly amendments that was made on the previous one. We'll apply to this one in terms of draft financial plan, remove the account number. Okay, and this is all vote not weighted because it's the draft financial plan. We're good. We're going good. Any questions on this one? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Number 4.
I think it's all vote. That the
Yeah.
board is authorized to sign as a signatory of the Slocan Lake and River Partnership Terms of Reference.
Thank you. And the and further can be removed. It was in the addenda. Discussion. Sorry, is that seconded? Thank you. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Oh, good work. Joint resource. Newell, you ready?
I'm ready. Thank you, Chair. I'd like to move the first resolution or recommendation. It's an all vote. And you can see it there and it's being read a first, second, and third time. Thanks for Todd for a great presentation.
Thank you. Second. Thank you. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
I'll move adoption.
Second. Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. The thanks to Todd is not a part of the motion, but it will be passed on. Number 3.
Number 3, since I struggled immensely with the pronunciation of the thing CDRMP, I won't try again. but you can see it there. We learned a bit about drywall waste and glass yesterday. Another good discussion. I'd like to move the all vote weighted recommendation.
Thank you. Second, thank you. Weatherhead discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
I'd like to move the fourth resolution, which has to do with extending a contract, well explained to us yesterday. And the motion is there for us to debate.
Do we have a second? Thank you. Weatherhead discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
The fifth resolution, and we do note that the start date of this extension is September 1st, but that was well explained by staff during the meeting. And that this extension is well in time for the work that will actually take place in 2026. And so this is all vote weighted.
Second, thank you. Weatherhead discussion. Not Weatherhead, Lockwood.
Thank you, and thank you for pointing out the September 1st. What I was trying to get at yesterday is that we approved this in the budget and we also approved the extensions. So why is it still coming back to the board if, and so I actually talked to Amy after and had said, is there any way that we can take this away unless there's great different, extended waiting circumstances that there's bigger charges or whatever. So she's looking into that because I just think that it's a waste of time that if we're approving it in the budget and we're saying that they can have extension if it follows the way it's going in the contract, why does it keep coming back to us? So I apologize. Yesterday my head was not as clear as maybe it is a little better today.
That's good. That's why I highlighted it because it was a great explanation.
Thank you very much. Seeing no other speakers, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
If I could, Chair, just point of privilege. I know I stopped the meeting after an hour yesterday, and most people are like, we usually go for an hour and a half. But when I came back, everyone was talking and chatting. I thought it was a bonding time for everyone. So I did take my discretion as chair to take a break after an hour. Anyway,
Good job.
Thanks.
And your hair looked great.
Well, there's no
Number
more.
six.
I did six, didn't I?
No, you didn't do that.
Okay, I'd like to move the sixth I scrolled to it and then we started chatting and.
Go ahead.
I'd like to move the sixth resolution that has to do with an amendment to the financial plan. For East
Thank you.
County.
Seconded. Discussion, Jackman.
With no disrespect to the suffering in the lower mainland and all RDC highways, we really need this provision for extra pumping of water.
Yeah.
There you go. This is the worst way to recognize that need. But yeah, something you gotta do.
Yeah.
Managing water, what a deal. It's not cheap.
No. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. 4.2.1, Director Popoff, I just want to check in. I saw an email about a change to a name. Is it in this motion? I didn't quite get to note it.
Yes, it is. I'd like to move the motion.
Okay.
With there's a typo on the South Slacan Water Service Community Advisory Committee. And the typo is in the name Jan McGovern. It's Ian McGovern, not Jan.
All right. So you're moving it with that change?
With that correction.
Thank you. Angela, do you have that? Thank you. Second?
Sure.
Further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Village of Salmo, this is ratifying our appointments. Salmo's first, 4.2.2.
Point of order, we didn't do 4.2.1.
Yeah, we did it.
Okay, sorry.
That's where we were appointing Jan instead of Ian, but we've made it. Yeah, Mayor, okay. So on 4.2.2,
Somebody else read it.
yeah, please, thanks. Can someone?
I'd like to move the recommendation.
Thank you, Newell, and seconded by Fadden. Thank you. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
For the Village of Silverton, if we want to move this and just change counselor to mayor. Thank you, Graham, seconded Hannah Graff. Discussion. I take a moment just to say that we will be acknowledging Director Main before the day is over after 3 terms. But we're not going to do that at this moment because I want a bit more time to do so. Just be sad. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And Nakest, you can't move this. Lockwood, thank you.
I'll move.
Second is
I guess it's the same.
alternate for joint changes, but we're good.
Okay.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. You're watching chat, eh? I realize my chat's not up. Okay, external committee appointments. Look at that, 9:55. Doing good. We might get a long lunch today.
Jinx.
No, no, I'm actually eating a, what's that?
Thank you.
Chair,
Yes.
kind of, just reading the cusp, it doesn't say that Aiden is, the member of West Resorts. It says
It's the same.
Tom
appointment.
Zelznick is the alternate director for
Yeah.
that and joint. So it might be just look at the wording.
We're good. It says that
Okay,
Aiden
you guys
appointed.
have your own shy.
Tom is alternate for all of the committees. is what
Yeah,
it's
but it
saying.
doesn't say he's the member for all the committees.
If you look at the chart that's included, it does.
Okay.
Thank you. We're good, doing good time until Noel catches up.
English.
Okay. Columbia Basin Trust, let's go ahead and start with 4.3.1 and we will be changing the date of this appointment. Go ahead.
May I nominate Director Hewitt?
You may. Hewitt, do you accept?
Yes.
Thank you. Hannah Graff.
Nominate Director McFadden.
McFadden, do you accept? Okay. Okay.
Is there any other nominations?
Oh, there he is.
She has 3.
Yes, I know. So 1 second, Hewitt. Further nominations? Okay, so we have 2 nominations, Hewitt and McFadden. And you will each get a minute to speak. So I will start with Hewitt.
All right, thank you, through the chair. This actually came as a surprise to me, that this was up for nomination because what is happening at the RDCK board isn't in sync with what happens at the CBT board. According to CBT, my appointment is, according to the order in council, is good until 2027. And I confirmed that yesterday via email with the CEO and the vice chair. We currently do not have a chair. The board is down 4 members at this point because they're working through the nomination process with the province. So as far as the Columbia Basin Trust is concerned, my nomination or my position on that board is still valid until 2027. And the loss of 1 more member at this time when there's, when it's in flux with 4 members not yet through that provincial vetting process could have a huge impact on the organization. So I respectfully ask for your continued support for myself as Columbia Basin Trust board member.
Thank you. I'm going to go to you in a minute, McFadden. I do just want to explain the procedure a bit because what we missed is that when we made the appointment 2 years ago, the terms of reference for CBT indicate 3 years, which matches the order in council. Unfortunately, we did it for 2 years. So that is why this was a surprise for Director Hewitt and CBT themselves. So it's here because we technically didn't make it the 3-year term, which was what CBT requested. So I just want to own that because we missed that until Director Hewitt asked yesterday. So with that, the term for us is up. For CBT, it's not. I don't quite know. I think we have to stick to our timeline. Is that?
I'll call my name. It's fine. I don't want there to be continuity problems with CBT. I'm very interested in what they do and being on that board, but again, I don't want to be in any way limit what CBT can do or any of that piece. So I have no problem calling my name.
Thank you, McFadden. Oh, how democratic of us. Good job.
Thank you, Maria.
Okay. Okay, then with that, when we move this motion, we're gonna change it to, because it should be a 3-year term according to the terms of reference,
Or
and
should it now go to 2027 as it was supposed to?
to match the order in council, and then it would come back. Okay. Whew. Getting our brains worked out today. So the motion is, can someone please move it with Director Hewitt? Thank you, Paige. Second, discussions. We good, Hannah Graf? Hewitt, we're good? Okay.
Through the chair, which that said, this will exceed the election for next year. I think that's what's, that was the reason for.
I think we
2025.
we've encountered that a few times. Yeah. Just wish you luck to keep going after the election. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. All right, MFA.
Like to, if I may,
Yeah, was that a hand?
For me, both, yeah, after.
Okay. No.
sorry, I was back at the other one. I'd like to nominate, an accountant, a mayor,
Just say the name. They
oh,
will-
sorry. For worship, Mayor Hewitt.
Hewitt, do you accept? We're not there yet. Okay, thank you. Further nominations? McLaren Co, yes.
I nominate Director Page.
Paige, do you accept?
I do.
Thank you. And for a third, is there third nomination? Okay, seeing none, that, do we have to determine who's director and alternate?
You do that through the election.
Isn't it after? the
Just one
first
second, let
election?
Ange speak.
Yes, so through the chair, if they're both running for the position on the MFA,
Okay. So,
there will be an election.
so let's clarify. Hewitt, you're being nominated as director, and Paige is being nominated as director?
Yeah.
Okay, so then we'll do the election, and then whoever's not in that is the alternate?
No, separate vote for alternate, as far as I remember, but I can check.
Okay, well, let's start with who's director, so you both get a minute to speak to being director. Go ahead, Hewitt.
Thank you. Through the chair, I've had the pleasure of serving as director for the past year, and prior to that, for, I don't know, a period of probably 5 years, I was the alternate director. And as an accounting technician, not an accountant, I have a great interest in financial matters, and I understand what is the workings of the MFA board, and I think it's very valuable to have, well, I will say a female voice at that table, because there are very few female members on that board, and I would like the honor of continuing as the director for the MFA.
Thank you, Director Hewitt. Director Page.
Yeah, no shadow over the representation that has been provided by Mayor Hewitt over the last couple of years. And as a technician who accounts as a small business owner, I am looking to represent the RDCK Board and the interests of local government at the NFA, understanding with a deeper clarity about the challenges that we're facing over time. While I may not be an obvious diversity candidate, I certainly am a diversity candidate, and that representation is important when we're doing this work. And I think this is a great opportunity to kind of switch it up and have different voices that are at that table and meet some of the challenges given some of the other cross-pollination that I'm doing across the province and really difficult times that we're heading into as local government. So I'd like to be able to bring some of that problem solving and understand this particular system more. And if I'm afforded the opportunity, I would appreciate it. And obviously we work closely with our colleagues on making it done. So
Thank you. All right, Mike, in the box. Or sorry, start revealing the papers.
Those online should now sort of.
Thank you. So Director David Boone, Fike and Popoff, if you can email both Angela and Stuart, your candidate. that everybody online, sir? So language and
It's not unless somebody else is.
You can go online.
Oh, I
My report is asked to get upstairs.
Okay.
I got Anyway,
Okay, so essentially we will, yeah.
And then ask.
Then we'll get full discussion. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah. You know.
We did have.
Phil.
I think we have some kind of. Let's see what's in this.
We're gonna just, use the room for those online while we do the count and then Hey, how many you're in there? Sorry, it's so loud on your end.
It should have been deeper, yeah.
Yeah.
It should have been deeper, yeah.
And, use the room for those online while we do the count and then
Use the wrench.
Oh, were we muted?
We were muted.
We recorded all of
Okay.
it.
No, I muted because you guys were so chatty. I'm sorry. We're unmuted, Ange?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. The director is Director Hewitt.
Correct.
Thank you. But I was like, he's fine.
Thank you.
On behalf of the board, you're welcome. So I will ask first, Director Page, would you like to run as alternate?
Sure.
Thank you.
I will.
And I'll go through the three nominations. Hannah Graf,
I nominate Director Newell.
Newell, do you accept?
I do accept, thank you.
Okay. Is there another nomination for alternate? All right. Can you do it in 30 seconds? Your spiel, we'll
Can
start
we
with,
check the policy? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who's first?
I've been going in alphabetical, so Newell.
And it's.
And.
Okay, good, thank you. See, I got 20. No, thank you very much.
You have 10
And,
seconds left. Okay, go.
No, I super enjoyed my time as our representative at the Municipal Finance Authority. I still, to this day, take great pride in the report I provided after my first session there. It was enlightening, and I thought I would share it with all of you. The insights on the economy and where it was going and the directions and the brilliance of the people in those discussions, and tracking the work of the Municipal Finance Authority. I peripherally stay involved still, but I thought at the time that it would be most appropriate for Mayor Hewitt to take over that role. So I nominated her that year to turn it over to her. Thank you.
Thank you. And Paige, over to you.
Yeah, I appreciate the hard work that's gone into these appointments over the last year. So again, like I said before, I'm super interested in the work the MFA is doing and understanding that on a deeper level. I have a unique perspective coming from another generation on what the challenges are that we are facing, and it's a great opportunity, I think, to diversify the kind of representation that we have at that location. You know, I know where most of the letters in the alphabet land.
Newell's laughing. Keep going.
Nice one.
All right, Mike, over to you. Directors, I think outline.
Thank you.
Sorry, directors online, if you can send your votes to Angela and Stuart. Director Popoff and Director DeBoon, if you can submit your votes.
No, I never
Thank
even
you.
thought that.
Here's all you can.
Right.
We ready?
Yes. You did.
Okay, so the director for alternate for Municipal Finance Authority is Director Newell.
Thank you.
Thank you. So if I can have a
Thank you.
motion to move those
Sure. So move.
appointments, and Newell is gonna be 2 L's or 1 L?
E-double-L, not 1 L like the Newell Post on the bottom of the stair.
L is what we were getting.
Okay.
Wall.
You are you moving the motion to approve these?
Somebody.
I think I spelt it right.
Okay,
That's
so-
the whole.
Come back to the table. I'm sorry, we're too much. So.
But it
Jack-
hasn't been done.
You would do, sure.
Okay,
So-
thank you.
Oh,
And Hewitt, were you asking a question on this?
no, I just had a supplemental motion.
To this one?
Yep.
Okay, all those in favor? Thank you. Anybody opposed? What's your supplemental motion?
Oh, just did there, because it probably wasn't anticipated a motion to destroy the ballots.
To be the chair, we
You do it
did
all
it
like that, yeah.
after all the appointments are done.
Oh, okay.
We do one motion to destroy them all, yeah.
Okay, 4.3.3, let's move along. That was 25 minutes for 2 appointments, so my bad. 3, 2. Municipal Insurance Association nominations. Lockwood.
I'll nominate Mr. Page with an E.
Paige, do you accept?
Yes.
Thank you.
Give me ease of my name, don't worry about it.
Okay, Weatherhead,
Had the same nomination.
Maine.
I had the same nomination, but I also have a question.
Can you just wait till I'm done nominations? Thank you. Further nominations? There are 2 directors for this one. Correct? One's an alternate. Okay. No further nominations for director for MIA. Boom. Let's finish this and then Maine, I'll come to you on your question. Would someone like to move the motion to? Oh, we'll wait till we do the alternate. Okay, great. So then, Maine, I've paused on alternate nominations. What is your question?
Yeah, so. Do we have to nominate
No,
Stuart?
no.
No, through the chair, it's sort of a safety net, just the way that the MIA AGM works on quorum and how it not conflicts, but it abuts right against the MFA meeting
Yeah,
at UBCM as well. So MIA struggled in the past, and what they recommend is that if there's a staff member that is usually attending UBCM, that they be the second alternate,
okay.
just in case the 2 directors can't attend. Yeah.
Okay, so nominations for alternate, Lockwood.
Director Turney?
Tierney, do you accept? Thank you. Further nominations for alternate. Asking for a third time, further nominations for alternates. Boom, that was easy. Thank you, Director Tierney. All right, now I will take a motion to
So
make
moved.
this meeting. Thank you.
Second, but chair, should the recommendation read alternate director? Second.
It's alternate for
Yeah.
Tierney.
Reads director.
Thank you. All right, all those in favor? Opposed, carried. All right, Nelson Public Library, we do not have someone for this one, so we're just not gonna do anything with it. We did the thank you letter through
May I speak briefly?
briefly.
We looked for someone. We cannot, at this point, find anyone to replace the current sitting member whose term expires at the end of December, Annie Holtby. But if you do look under a previous agenda item, we are acknowledging Annie for her great work. She's currently the chair of the library board. In fact, has done a fantastic job. We will be sending a letter of thanks to Annie. And personally, I'll say to the public, thank you very much for your leadership, Annie, in that role. Fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Annie. And should you find someone in the future, you can bring that forward at
Yes,
that time. 4.3.5, we confirm this terms of reference as active for this committee. Yes. Okay, thank you. I will open the floor to nominations, invasive species. Tierney,
Director Vandenberg.
Vandenberg, do you accept? Thumbs up, thank you. Maine,
Director Hewitt?
Hewitt, do you accept?
I do.
Thank you. And Hannah Graff?
Done.
Done, okay. Third time, nominations for the invasive species. All right, seeing none, I assume then we have 2 directors. We've filled the positions. We don't need an election. All right, can I take a motion to appoint those 2 directors? Thank you, Paige and Jackman. Question? All those in favor?
Wanted to make a comment.
1 second. 1 second. All those in favor? Opposed? Go ahead.
Just that Director Vandenberg and I have been attending, without remuneration for the last year. But because we love being on the working group, but it's very interesting work, and I think we all need to take a bit more interest in the invasive species work. I know Director Newell tried to advance it, and being on the committee really highlights why it's important. You get a lot more education.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
4.3.6. We're not gonna, can we not get it? We can receive the reports. Let's keep going with appointments. 4.3.6, Newell,
I'd like to move,
you can nominate.
move the nominate, Director McLaren Colburn.
Do you accept?
I do.
Paige,
Sorry to do that.
same nomination, and for a third time, nominations for, let me look at this, Rural Innovation, the committee of that group, sorry. We're gonna take a break after this. Okay, seeing no other nominations, would someone like to move the motion, Newell, because you wanted to move a motion already?
So moved.
Thank you. Second, Jackman, thank you. All the discussion, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Let's go for another few. Did we verify that the treaty is still, the advisory committee is still functioning, still acting?
That was a little bit unclear, but Director
Director DeBoon, can you indicate if the Tenaka Treaty Advisory Committee is still active and meeting?
They haven't been active for the last couple of years, but I think there may be a desire to keep it in place in case there is some rejuvenation. So whether we're active or not, I think we should have representation in the event that it does become active. And I think it would become active if there is a pertinent issue that has to be dealt with.
Okay, I'm just gonna check in procedurally on making appointments when we're not requested for them. It does get a bit awkward, but I understand your point. So Ange, is there any provisions to do that?
A terms of reference through the chair, that just indicates the appointments. I don't see anything regarding dates or.
Okay. Okay, your hand is up, Vandenberg, go ahead.
I'd like to agree with Director DeBoon. This is the work that could be affecting Creston's life. And it gets into legal rights, titles, and local government representation. So I think that if it was to stand up, we ought to be in a position to.
No problem, we're gonna go ahead with it. So I'll open the floor to nominations.
Nominate DeBoon.
Oh, Graham?
I'll nominate DeBoon.
DeBoon, you accept?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Second nomination, Tierney?
Director Vandenberg?
Vandenberg, do you accept?
I don't, because I would be interested in alternate.
Okay, thank you. Third time for director. And sorry, Newell, you were gonna say something. I'm relying on people to use their hands. Okay. So in that case, we have Director DeBoon for director. And now we will open up to alternate nominations. Maine.
Director Vandenberg.
And Vandenberg to your accept. Thumbs up, all right. Second for alternate. And a third time for alternate. Seeing none, can someone move a motion to approve?
Someone.
Thank you. Second, discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. All right, let's take our morning break. Good job, everybody.
Good job.
Boone, and I believe Pike is there as well. All right. So moving to 4.3.8 West Kootenai Transit Committee, Director McFadden, you are automatic with Castlegar. I'll open it up to nominations. Weatherhead.
I'd like to nominate Director Lockwood.
Lockwood, do you accept?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. Second nomination, Newell.
Director Popoff.
Popoff, do you accept?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And third, Hannah Graff.
McFadden.
McFadden's on. She's automatically on it.
Thank you. Never mind
Would you like to nominate Someone else?
I don't know, does someone want to be nominated?
No, we're good. So this is for the director. They're both for director. Think about this for a minute. We do need a third for alternate, so why don't we just deal with directors at this time? Seeing no other nominations for directors. We've got, what? You're good? Lockwood and Popoff. And now I will ask for nominations for alternate director. Newell?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sorry, Jackman, you're nominating Hewitt? Hewitt, do you accept? Thank you. Further nominations for alternate? You're watching chat. And a second time, I lost track. All right, we've got our directors. So Director McFadden is automatic Popoff and alternate Hewitt. Would someone like to move that motion? Thank you, Maine. Thank you, Weatherhead. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And assessment rules.
So moved.
Thank you. Second. Thank you. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Parcel tax review panel. So in the east, we have exactly the amount of directors we need. Would someone like to move this motion?
So moved.
Thank you. Main second discussion. We're on 4.3.10.1 east.
Discussion, you didn't ask us if we agreed, but you didn't ask
I'm
if
sorry.
we agreed either.
I don't think Yev has an option, but do you all in the east agree to this? You're good?
Yes.
Thumbs up, all right.
Right.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. West. So. Oh yeah, okay, there we go. We have 4 positions for the West parcel tax review. Lockwood.
I'd like to nominate Director Newell.
Newell, do you accept?
Yes.
Thank you. Hennegraff?
I was gonna do the same thing.
All right. Weatherhead?
I'd like to, are we doing one at a time or are we trying to fill all 4 spaces?
All 4, we've got, go ahead with your nomination.
I'd like to nominate, Hennegraff. Would you like to accept?
Do you accept Hennegraff?
Sure.
Okay. And Hennegraff, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
I do. I'll nominate Director Hewitt.
Hewitt, do you accept?
Thank you.
Thank you. 3 nominations, but 4 positions, so I can ask again. Newell?
Yeah, I think someone was in West.
Yes. Pardon? Sama was in the West. Are you nominating Lockwood?
I'd like to nominate Mayor Lockwood.
Do you accept Lockwood?
I would.
Thank you. All right. Well, that fills the 4 positions. There's 3 out. Did I do that right? All right. You have your folks for that. Can we get a motion to appoint those folks? Thank you, Maine. Thank you, Weatherhead. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And now motion to destroy.
Elections.
Huh? No, we have to destroy the ballots. Thank you. Thank you. Moved by Hewitt, seconded by Cunningham. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Next one, McCarran Co. Did you move that motion?
I sure did.
All right. Thank you. And do you accept?
Oh, yeah.
All right. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. All right, so the next section is on our conferences. And these are just to move the motion. Thank you, Graham. Lockwood. Discussion. Me?
Yeah, I will not be a full-time director at that time. I'll be an alternate.
I don't think you're in this motion. We're on the EA director.
Sorry.
Thank you. Hold your question. Tierney?
The electoral area directors forum, read March 10th and 11th.
It does say March 10th and 11th below. In the motion, it's March 10th and 11th. Thank you. Cunningham?
Yeah, sure, but I got my name with Ron, so I thought.
Just easy to
So
do.
please explain how we will do this.
Through the chair, we put everybody in there so you have the option of attending. It's entirely up to you whether you do. Christine sends out the email and you can say, not this year. Yeah.
There you go, you can change your mind if you like. Okay. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Is LGELA the one you were speaking to? So Director Main, should that change to Director, Gordon? Would you like to move the motion?
I make that motion.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you, Hewitt. Discussion? Same thing. If you decide not to go, that's fine. You just have the ability to go. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. AKBLG. Thank you, Hewitt. Do I have a second? Thank you, Hanegraaff. Yeah, we could do these as a block. Is that, you move it as a block, Hewitt? Thank you, Hanegraaff. You're good.
Yeah.
All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And FCM, and you want to do the same? Go ahead, Director Main, and move this motion with the change. Oh,
Sorry, no, never mind. We did as a block that included sending the CAO.
Yeah.
yes.
Sorry.
Okay, but we're on FCM and now I'm noting the same change you made for UBCM.
Yeah.
So do you want to move it with the change?
Yes, I will do so.
Second.
Thank you. And this is as a block? Okay, thank you. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Oh, this is UBCM. Sorry, my bad. So Director Main will go ahead and move that with, again, the change.
Yes, once again.
And this is as a block as well. Second? Thank you. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. All right, good job. Correspondence. Selma, do you want to go ahead and move this motion?
Sure,
Or
this,
Cunningham,
thank
either
you.
one?
This is to have the roof repaired at the Salmo Valley Community Youth Center, $30,000. It's gonna come out of S1218. And further, the board approved the payment of the grant to the youth center. Good.
Yep. Do you second, Director Cunningham?
Yeah.
Thank you. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Caribou Recovery Team, just FYI, I wanted to make sure we only got that the other day, so it's on the agenda possibly. I think we had it by agenda prep if you want the info. Bylaws, Selmo and Area G. Who would like to move that? Thank you. You second? Thank you.
I just want to say that this one is repealing because there was a couple of word changes, so everybody doesn't get really confused because
Okay, thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And the next one, go ahead.
I'll move to the next one. For second and third
third.
reading for the recreational program amendment bylaw 3068.
Thank you. And second? Thank you. Discussion? Lockwood? Oh, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. All right, community services, RDCK Award and Creston for the ammonia refrigeration update. Would someone like to move this motion or ask questions? Jacqueline? Thank you. Paris, can you mute? Thank you. Joe, go ahead.
Good, sorry, I didn't quite hear. I didn't quite hear the question.
Well, how do they upgrade the ammonia refrigeration? Because I thought they're trying to get away from ammonia after the thing that happened.
Well, to the chair, no, ammonia still. Ammonia, there are two parts of ammonia. Ammonia is dangerous if you're in an enclosed space with it, but ammonia is actually the best refrigerant in terms of the environment. Like it just naturally dissipates into the environment. So ammonia is still considered a very highly efficient refrigerant. In this case, part of what our plant work does is we move from a shell and tube technology to a.
Hold on.
So that actually.
Who just? Thanks, Paris.
Sorry, so moving from a shell and tube to a plate and frame, which actually dramatically decreases the charge on ammonia. And it's, the regional district has never had an accident with ammonia in operation. And it's, Fernie is not a good example of of the way we keep our own refrigeration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Side conversations are being planned out.
okay, folks, when we have side conversations, it means it mutes out every conversation online, or no one can hear anything, so no side conversations, please. And thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Chair, I was on the speakers list, but it's more a point
Oh.
of privilege if I could. I'm in
Yeah.
favor of it.
Okay, I'm sorry about that, Newell.
What I wanted, because we're in the public and this is an opportunity to ask staff if I could, what the projected cost of this project was 5 years ago as we began to initiate it, and what we were budgeting for ahead of time, and what it turned out to be at this time, just so the public understands some of the pressures we're under.
You don't think they read our reports in full? I did note it in there, but Joe, if you wanna go ahead, or Craig, it's online.
Just for the recording.
Yeah, sorry, I was teasing you. Joe, go ahead.
I think, mechanical systems in general have seen, a tremendous increase in cost. That's coming from a number of aspects. The technology is changing, the safety requirements are changing. All of those pieces, whether it be new boiler, a new air handler, things that, all of these things have just, they're exponential in their increase. So I think when I first put this in the budget, we paid around 500,000, and then it's been moving up. I'm trying to remember, I believe that when we replaced the chiller in the Pioneer in 2014, I think that was a $300,000 project. But the scope of that project was a lot smaller. But yes, it's going.
Thank you. Okay, sorry, Newell, I missed you.
That's okay.
Okay. 8.2.1, so this is the local government climate action program summary of funding requests. We have seen 2 of those already in this agenda, and then we have 2 more here, or did we do 3 previously? Anyways, the report is there. Do we want to ask any questions? Paris, was there anything to add to your report? You're good? Okay. Any questions on the report? And then we have the subsequent motions for others. Sorry, Lockwood, go ahead.
Thank you. Just on the report through the chair, can I just understand the volunteer driver regional service collaboration? Does that, I didn't know the RDCK had a volunteer driving program. Can that be explained? Because there's $20,000 to that.
So that's what we approved earlier in the Rural Mobility Climate Action, Community Advisory Committee recommendation. That was that volunteer driver program. So the report was attached to that item, but if.
In that program? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And it's not RDCK's program, it's actually working with Castlegar Community Services and all the other ones that do volunteer driver programs and creating a capacity connection between them.
Okay, thank you.
Alex, anything you want to add to that?
No, that's what.
Okay. Any other questions on the report? Okay, let's go to the motions 8.2.2, and this is for the NDCC recommissioning and controls assessment.
Good morning, Chair. So this is the allocation of $15,000 from the RDCK funding towards the decommissioning and direct control assessment at NDCC. Since NDCC is the largest, highest energy using public facilities, and during the spring season, we did have a training session with the facility manager, and we observed that there were several concerns regarding scheduling, ventilation settings, zonal temperature control, and pool area temperature and humidity management within the DDC system. So this funding will help in optimizing the control strategy, correct inefficiencies, and produce clear, prioritized, evidence-based recommendations to guide future operational improvement and capital planning.
Thank you. It was a really well done report. It was great to understand what it was. Jackman, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ask something I maybe should know about how we can use LGCAP funds, because I appreciate the deeper dive and recognizing sort of the greatest potential saving at greatest energy using locations, but then the actual work to be done. That's part of a multi-million-dollar annual budget. It's something that should be part of our budget anyway. Is it possible that we would be spending our funds on the investigation of the deep dive of staff to compensate us for the staff effort, then the actual work comes out of the operational budget? Because the operational budget will see the benefit of reduced future costs. Once you've identified this stuff, it's stuff you're gonna do anyway, because of dates. We shouldn't be doing stuff just because. We should be doing stuff with a return on investment that pays itself back. So to take the LG cap funds to subsidize what will end up with your return on investment makes less sense than to use the LG cap funds to pay the staff to do the deep dive. So we're using these funds the best way. Now, external contributions to leverage stuff that Alex has been doing, that's different, because there is no budget for the external group. So I see these differently. How we should use LG cap funds to pay our staff to do the deep dive, service-based work, or LG cap funds leverages someone else to do much more work. Just a general question, how are we best using this fund?
Who wants to take that one? So it's really more related to the overall report and what we're doing with
Very
LGCAP.
basically, but this is the example that did.
Yeah.
So for me.
Okay, go ahead, Paris.
Thank you, through the chair. Well, I think, and I also have another question related to whether or not there's operational benefit to actually cover the public work. It's, and Simon, if you have anything to add, but what we're trying to do with the LGCAP funds is use our funding to leverage opportunities that we see of high return. And so in this case, we do see it as an opportunity to increase cost saving, to make best use of the learning that we had. So we had an investment from Fortis to do the training, identify an opportunity, and so we're using a relatively small amount of funding, then leverage and achieve cost saving. From our end, it's the full use of LGCAP funds to increase that.
And sorry, just to note, I believe the staff time was actually, this is a Fortis paid position. So I think that was what was funding the staff time. I get your overall picture, but I just wanted to know that.
The staff time goes beyond one position. The staff time goes into the deep dive, working with all of the people who say, is this worth doing? I'd like LGCAP to pay all of that time internally to reduce the tax burden. In general.
Okay.
And then the only reason we're doing this is because there is a return on investment, you're gonna save money. So that compensates on the other stuff. But the more we can apply these funds to the deep dive of all staff involved, this is never one person. One person is the catalyst. But there's more staff costs to doing these investigations. Philosophical use, how would we use this money? When the use of the money to physically make the change pays that service back in.
Paris, go ahead.
Thank you for the chair. In this case, it's a specialized, so the costs that are associated with this project are going to approval. It's not going to stop. It's not worth the spend.
Through the chair, I believe what Director Jackman is saying is that it's work that we should be doing, anyways, yeah. And so, but I think it speaks, I think in this case, what we were doing was using available funds to fund that work, because they directly they're actually directly related. But it is a funny place. I can understand we're in a funny place. Like I just know that I was saying that we're more scared okay. But Sana's has been helping our staff with the identification, for example, of the Fortis training. And that Fortis training was actually training regional district staff on what these DDC systems were that they have, how they can be best optimized. Through that process, there was this identification. Like for example, Sana helped us with our strategic priority funds for the refrigeration project. There's actually a lot of that refrigeration project that ran through earlier evaluations with BES, is that right? With BES. And so there is that integration, but you're right. It's not like we don't have it really embedded in here. Agreed.
So we're on 8.2.2. Is this something you want to change as a motion, or do you,
So
is this for future
we
considerations?
need for future, how we
Okay.
spread the benefit as broadly as possible, and then the return on investment for doing the work that comes from the service. Doing that.
Okay. So would someone like to move the motion page? Thank you. Do we have a second, Graham? Further discussion on the motion?
Yeah,
Yes.
just keeping in mind with LGCAP, that where there's a return on investment funding, you know, that naturally comes up our how we manage our finances, right? Like, we're fairly good at finding cost savings because of how well we can manage the financing and the enterprise that comes with counting numbers. Other comments earlier aside. And the thing with LCAP is we are not good at figuring out how much emissions are being pumped out, and we're not good at getting that return on investment when it comes to these longer, somewhat nebulous impacts that are coming from all the consumption of the emissions that we are consuming. So I just want to say, when we're talking and considering what the benefit is, when I look at LCAP, that's a piece where it's like, what is the emissions reduction first, and then how does that also have co-benefits that go along with it when it comes to this funding pocket for us all, as opposed to just trying to find another way to save even more money. Like, if we can save money, we should be doing activities to save money with money.
Thank you. Further discussion on the motion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. The next one is for programmable thermostats at resource recovery facilities. Would anyone like to, we've read the report, so unless there's questions, we're good. Is there any questions, or is someone ready to move the motion?
I'll move the motion.
Thank you, Maine. Seconded Paige. Discussion. Lockwood.
Just a question is, so this was at CSLAC, but it's about the resource recovery.
It was not at CSLAC.
Oh,
The Rural Mobility Community Advisory Committee recommendations were at CSLAC.
oh,
These are at the board, and yes, we have to figure out a different way of doing things. LGCAP applies to all of us, so this is spreading it across the services.
right. I was just wondering that we had a meeting, joint resource, and
I did ask why this was not
Okay.
there, but
Okay.
here it is. Always looking for different ways of doing things.
yes.
Further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Go River Watershed Sustainability Plan Phases 3 and 4. This is a motion to apply. We've read the report. Very well done. Do we want to start with the motion and or questions? Jackman.
Yeah, I guess questions first. Let's put a bit of money again on the table with this, and it's not entirely clear to me how the money is going to be dispersed. We are the gateway, I guess, for the eligible applicant, and our intention is to share that with our partners in this project. That's fine. I would like to see the breakdown and the expectations for somebody else's or partners. Actually, it'd be nice if they would produce a quote and metrics, what they're going to achieve for their portion of the money. The reason I'm dwelling on this a little bit is we had a conversation about budgetary deficit under S-105. There wasn't one thing or something you can say, well, this happened, this did this. It seems like we had a lot of contractual obligations, whether they're a partner under, not really a contract, under something that they're gonna do, or it's consultants or some kind of arrangement. And it never happens in 1 or 2 years. It tends to carry on through more years. There's a forwarding amount of money, and how it's accounted gets nebulous. Next thing you know, we have a $36,000 deficit in service. So when I see a couple $100,000 on the table, it'd be nice to see that the partner who's hoping, or consultants or whoever, who think they're gonna get the 50,000 or 2 times 50 or 25 as breakouts and big lots. Who is that? How did that number come to be? Did a partner say, we have these resources and we can do this work within this time limit to produce this end result? And actually see a little better accounting from all sides, or a consultant that's done this. Now, I know some of the stuff is to be developed, but the less of it that's left in that to be developed range, the better. I'd like to see every year a roll up of all of these little bits of work, all of these groups, how have they done, and where are we at? If work takes longer, it takes longer. But every time something takes longer, it costs the taxpayer more money. And we cover anything that's not covered by a grant, we cover. So I'd like some breakdowns, and can this wait until we see breakdowns and expectations that all this comes to be spent?
Paris.
Thank you through the chair. There's a timeline, the RDF Real Estate Foundation application opens on January 6th. Then I am on leave on January 5th. So I was hoping Felix would be on position prior to my own leave. I would be happy to respond to this and provide these at the next CBC meeting or at the informal meeting that is planned amongst directors. I'm happy to provide that much.
If I might,
Supplemental?
this recommended services so taxpayers can see, if possible. And I like. to
So
see
does that work? Can we ask Paris to bring the breakdown to CVSC, which is January 4th, 8th?
Ask her date, but somebody can do that.
Yeah.
Sorry, the RDF just opens on January 6th. It doesn't close.
No, the CVSC meeting is January 8th.
Yes.
So you can have someone present that information. Okay.
Thank you.
Vandenberg's next on the list. The motion is not on the table. Go ahead, Vandenberg.
I guess further to the funding, conversation and of course, I wonder, I don't recall seeing the funding agreement that is referred to in the reports. But we also have, back in April of 2025, the board asked for an engagement, details around an engagement strategy. And that needed to include meetings, leadership meetings with the members in the group, the elected officials. And that was during the phase 1, phase 2 stage. We're moving into phase 3, phase 4. We're moving at quite a quick pace, but we haven't done our fundamental work. We haven't had engagement. We haven't decided how we're going to decide on the outcomes and the principles, the collaboration principles that were intended to be sought and resolved prior to us getting to this point in time. So I'm a little bit concerned that we're being excluded. I mean, we're approving funding, but we have not talked about the foundational pieces, the relationship, the engagement opportunities, that sort of thing, to agree that, you know, phase 1 and 2 ought to look like this, phase 3 and 4 should look like this. We haven't had none of those conversations. It seems to be all being led by staff and a great job they're doing, but when do we get together? The intent of all this was to have the directors who are representing those areas have these conversations and then have conversations with our partners so that we understood what the process and what our outcomes are supposed to be. I'm a little bit concerned that we're not having that.
So Director Vandenberg, the third attachment in the item provides the engagement update and overview that provides those dates and when that is planned for. So I'm just wondering if you're able to see that.
I have looked at the third attachment, but
So
we still haven't had the conversation.
So the work is now transitioning towards a deeper storytelling, sector-based dialogue. That process will come in phase 3 and 4 in 2026. And it talks about the elected officials meeting with Yakanuki at that time. And Paris, do you want to add to that? I just wanted to note if you saw that, because I'm not sure if it was in the addenda or if it was on the main agenda.
Looking at it right now.
Okay, thank you. Paris, go ahead.
Thank you through the chair. My apologies if there's a feeling of being left out. We have tried repeatedly to bring everyone along. The board, engagement strategy was presented at CSLAC and then brought to the board. And then an update was provided in this, and it was approved both at CSLAC and at the board. And then it was, an update is provided in the attachments as well. I have proposed, and so in support of this as well as there was a mention of having informal workshops with the electeds. We had one in March of last year, and I've proposed one now for January this year as well, just to make sure that we are all up to date. We have also been at all the CBSC meetings as a standing item, wanting to provide that update as well. So I look forward to, please let me know how we can do that. But we are intending to bring everyone.
You're referencing the actual engagement process between the entities. I think that's what you're referencing in the timeline on that.
Yes, which is supposed to already happen, which is not occurring. And I know that you're proposing that we have this time to proposing that we get together and have these conversations. But meanwhile, we're being asked to approve quite a large funding stream without having any sort of idea for the Director Jackman's comments as to where we're trying to go and what we're trying to do here. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. And back in April of 2025, it was the board requested more details on the engagement strategy, which you produce now, but it is today. Meanwhile, we're asking, we're getting into phase 3 and 4, and around 3 and 4, my questions are, who is going to be engaged? There's uncertainty with that. I've attended all the phase 1, phase 2 sessions, so I know what's going on there. And I'm anticipating the concerns for the Crescent Valley because I see it's going to be a problem. And as an elected official, I'm going to be taking all the questions. So.
Thank you, through the chair. Again, we did bring the engagement earlier, so the engagement strategy earlier, so and it is outlined phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. Part of this very much is a process of emergence. And so because we're doing we were relatively clear on phase 1 and phase 2. And as it emerges, it's more an understanding of what conversations need to happen. We identified that a priority was working with producers, and so that's a key focus for phase 3. And the engagement, we received funding with the Investment Agricultural Foundation, and we have, as we spoke about it, we get the meeting last week. We have a 3-part process that is directed towards producers of doing an outreach with mail, also doing on-farm visits, and then doing events that workshops as well. So that's the primary focus, and then starting to engage with industry. The only piece that hasn't worked as we initially hoped for in terms of our timing was the council engagement for Yapaniki. And that's, I say that's just part of it because time, things take longer or took longer than we anticipated. But the intent is for that to happen in May and June next year. And again, our hope is that we can meet with you to discuss exactly how that might look as from all those involved.
Can I propose a suggestion just to see if this works? Is that I think essentially what needs to occur is CVSC would like to see more specifics on the funding partner contributions, how that works, how that's outlined, and then also more details on the engagement and security. Could we give provisional permission to make the application, but bring the application to the January 8th CVSC for approval? Is that something procedurally we could do?
Yeah, could we refer to that meeting?
But that it gives Paris permission to put that material together, and it'll still be up to you guys if you want to do that. I'm just proposing something that gives you the time at CVSC for the additional information before it's actually approved. So if that procedurally works, then I'll just go back to you. You don't have to do it. It's just a suggestion. Go ahead.
That would be the logical step anyway, to address this again in January. That'd be the first opportunity we get to now. And yes, we will have, and I hope that we can set aside time to have an in-depth conversation around this. This is a big project. It's huge. And I just feel as directors, we're been left out of it. Yes, I know but we never had a conversation around it. We've never talked about this. It is just information that we get to read on. That seems to be the extent of it. Meanwhile, the train is ready to fire out of the station. I just don't feel that we're on it.
So Jackman, for a second time, no motion on the floor.
So if we go to the outcome of April 2025, approved engagement strategy, the further part of that relationship with Yapaniki, and then paraphrase of it, leadership meetings to set collaboration principles. And if we had set the collaboration principles, I would have a better understanding of who's doing what, how we share now what is several $100,000 of funding through grants, plus whatever staff time and additional funding is on the taxpayers. So that part is the gap, and I understand partially how that gap came to be, but moving it now to May and June is so far down the road of spending money and starting to produce outcomes, which it says the next couple of words, and then review engagement outcomes. That's fine, that'll be later. But we missed the set the collaboration principles. And that's what we could do next week if you want. before Christmas, I'm available.
I think it's contingent on Yakanuki being available, which is what the timeline's
So
actually.
now we're
for
having
everybody.
third party trying to frame how that C2C community engagement will look. A third party with staff framing how we should now have that conversation later in the process.
So what do you want to do with this today?
This I'd love to have referred to January, and I'd like to have us set our thoughts on our outline of how that engagement to set collaboration on principles internally without going to the third party, Fraser Basin or whatever. And then you can take that to Fraser Basin and use their wisdom. There's a few steps can be taken before engagement, but I would be happy to have this referred to January if it's still within the submission. I would encourage Paris to do the complete draft application.
Can we just hold for a second? I just want to clarify. Can we refer it to your CVSC meeting in January where this is a standing item? And then you can do the deep dive into it, and then it naturally would come to board in January from that committee.
That mechanism can work.
Okay, I just want to check on timing before I go to you, Director Cunningham, and we won't take referral until we complete the speakers list. And the referral would be to CVSC. Paris, time-wise? Okay, so before your referral motion, Director Cunningham? Okay. Jackman, would you like to refer this to
If we can
CVSC?
refer to CVSC. With
Thank you.
expectation of becoming January.
Yes, and you got the details on what they'll be looking for. Okay, is there a second on that referral? Thank you. On referral? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And anybody who would like to see the very entertaining and lively Creston Valley Services Committee meetings, they are the first Thursday of the month and they are full of details. So by all means.
Chair, second Thursday this month, the first Thursday is New Year's Day.
Okay,
Thought
thank
we
you.
would not have bolted them.
Alphabet and calendar lessons today. I super appreciate it. Okay, refer to CVSC. That's moved. Seconded. Did I ask for opposition? We're good. And you're good? All right. Wes Robson, Director Hanegraaff.
Yeah, I'll move the recommendation as presented. It's simply a continuation of replacement of asbestos cement pipe in the West Robson water system.
Thank you. Second. Thank you. Discussion. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Oh, Unit 4. I saw you come in the room. So much on this one. Yeah, is there anything you'd like to add to what was put in the report, or just open it for questions and?
Yeah, thank you. Just open up for questions, please.
Okay. Can I go ahead and just start with, so we're pretty much being told that this licensing fee is not an option. And I do believe based on what you looked at in the other RDs, this is actually, even though it's an extreme increase, it's less than what others are facing. What can you say about the licensing fee and how we are not getting a lot of reasonable options? That's my words.
Yeah, thank you through the chair. Yes, basically we have no other option with Unit 4. Spoke with them yesterday and confirmed, I said and we're actually one of the last holdouts. They've said that most of the other RDs and municipalities in BC have signed on to the new agreement. I spoke with one of the other RDs who signed up last week, and they said they held out and they actually didn't change any terms, and they've accepted it. And I asked, was anybody challenging this, because they're basically being forced to move from non-premise license to more expensive cloud license, and they said no, nobody's mounted a challenge or done anything like that. And basically, if we don't move ahead with this, by the end of 2026, our on-premise application will no longer be supported. We will not be able, there'll be no updates for payroll, so we basically wouldn't be able to process payroll receiving support of it.
Page. I'm gonna go ahead and ask my second question, and I'm sorry, I don't usually do that, but I'm going to. You note in the report the risks on if we don't do this, but I'm curious about the risks of should the cloud fail or anything in terms of the entity managing that and our data breaches, what covers that risk and what kind of risk is that?
Yeah, so there is with the service, there's a data backup policy that talks about, explains how they do backups, and they actually have a higher level of service, what they call to sort of returning to operations than we do. We're basically moving from, we have a complex environment, but we're moving to a cloud where you've got multiple data centers that are redundant. The redundancy is higher than what we have. So from some respects, we are gaining higher service levels and resiliency than we have now. As far as the cloud failing, this service, cloud service, they've been running nearly 100% uptime for the last 2 years, which is a little bit higher than what we've been experiencing here.
And insurance would cover any failures?
So there's in the terms of agreement, there's credits if there is service levels don't meet a certain level. There's credits that we gain if service levels get really bad, and just finishing up negotiating this, we have potentially the ability to cancel the agreement and move to something else if it doesn't work for us. Again, about every RD and municipality who's on Unit4 has moved to the cloud. I just heard from KNRD today, they're not going to Unit4, they're going to another provider, but they also moved to a cloud environment. So the era of on-premise ERPs is quickly disappearing.
Okay, and sorry to my colleagues, I don't usually go first, but I was on fire about those questions I had to ask. So I've got Jackman, Page, Maine. Go ahead, Jackman.
Thank you. So appreciate the report, and we're supposed to see some payback on this for efficiencies. Here's this report: efficient service delivery, not possible without full support. It says maybe reduce capital expenditures. I guess we'll see those over time in our capital asset management plans. Predictable operating costs will go down. We will have our use IT workload. Is any of it quantifiable that we could tell the taxpayer why we feel this is the best choice versus I think the words just we're canceling, move to something else? Or if it's not quantifiable, is it a waste of our time to try to quantify these efficiencies? Would every senior manager be asked to try to identify how they would change how they do business over the next 2 years because they have a different support system, how their admin support time would shift, free up that resource, there's human resources to do something else? Is there any way to quantify or justify this, or do we throw our hands up? Because sometimes quantifying it is more hard. That's clear.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's good to share. Be totally transparent. There is no payback on this, very little payback on this increase. I just spoke with our IT department. Their support is actually, doing the updates on our current systems is probably less than 40 hours a year. All of that will go away. So we're talking maybe 20 hours of that sort of time. If we downsize our data center, replacement in a couple of years, I think the last time it cost about $500,000. We might be able to go 10% smaller, so $50,000 over 5 years. So you add it all up, it doesn't come close to meeting this increase in annual costs.
Fair enough.
Page.
I think where we're at now means that we move into this contract with being motivated by the vendor and straight the vendor, pretty honest. My questions come down to what kind of provisions we have around the ability to export the data, how structured that data might be so that it can facilitate the exportation in a number of years. Are there provisions within this contract and with this vendor to ensure that our data can leave the system in the future and is not custom spun in their own way? That's to be done exportable.
Yeah, through the chair, there's a provision in the agreement if we choose not to extend it or after 5 years or it's terminated for whatever reason, that all the data would be made available to us within 30 days in a common readable format. As you can probably appreciate with an ERP of this size, you have probably hundreds of different tables, so we would the agreement does allow for that, provision to export it in a common readable format.
Okay, can I just have a little bit of license here to
Go ahead.
tiny bit of the back and forth? So aside from readable, it's also like structure. It's also like, is it following some shared understanding of how this type of data should be structured? It's one thing to read database tables, it's another thing whether or not you're structuring the data in ways that makes sense to other kinds of ERP software.
Yeah, through the chair, interestingly enough, Unit 4 has a new ERP product called ERPX. There is actually no path to migrate from our current Unit 4 to their new Unit 4. So it's a challenge in the ERP world when you've got such complicated data tables and formats that it's not an easy transition going from what you have now to something different. It's sort of finding that commonality. Here's all of our data, you know, and here's the tables. And some of that, what exists in your current system does not exist in the new system, and vice versa. So Unit 4 is actually, their longer term plan is to move to everybody to ERPX. And they say it'll probably take 3 or 4 years before they come up with a migration system that makes it simpler.
This is my final.
Go ahead.
So I'm gonna bring up a perfect line example, which I have before. I'm curious now that everyone's falling into a cycle, like they've gone out and they've reduced everyone to get into the cloud in 5 years, everyone's gonna be hitting the end of their 5-year contract. Are we taking any initiative with our other RDs or other local governments, citizen services, to start the beginnings of a working group that would be able to sit down and say, what are our needs? What would it take to develop the software? What would it take to come up with an arrangement in 5 years that would be more of a technology stack that we had more say, more input, more control over, as opposed to being at the behest of a specific vendor, which, if you really think about it, only might be handling a couple hundred clients, maybe 1,000 overall, but it's a small niche part of the market, which means it's an easy market to hold, capture, and then keep backing the rate on. So are there any efforts amongst these groups of RDs and local governments, and maybe in collaboration with citizen services, to see what we would need to do to explore feasibilities of developing more technology staff that was more within our purview and control?
Yeah, through the chair that, I've had discussions, we have discussions with various RDs, and the RDs that are going through these processes, for whatever reason, have been focused on their own needs, so they reach out and say, how are things going? There hasn't been any sort of unified effort to find something that works for everyone. So I know that, for instance, TNRD is working on something, RDEK is working on something, but they've chosen not to align and go on it together. So there's definitely different challenges, but it's something we can, certainly, and I think we should consider. And 5 years may sound like a long time, but if you're working towards an ERP replacement, and again, I'll bring up TNRD, they started this process in early 2023, and they just selected who they're going to go with, and now it's going to take them another probably a couple years to implement their solution. So
I appreciate that.
yeah, so it's something that I have thought about, because we're sort of at the mercy of this vendor now, and is there an alternative solution that might work for RDs and potentially municipalities in general? So.
Thanks. I think, Paige, what I'd like to say is that we could possibly, work with UBCM reps and staff to talk about, that's a great suggestion. Maybe we could take that one as, take it offline and see what we can come back to.
Yeah.
Good one. Okay. Maine.
Yeah, thank you. And this might be obscure or not. I see that Unit 4 is co-located globally as well as in the US and Canada. And my concern is if is protection against the US. It is growingly volatile political situation between Canada and the US with trade barriers and broken promises coming from the other side of that border. And do we have in our arrangement here, our contract, do we have any protection against political deprivation of our data?
Through the chair, so our data would exist in Canadian data centers. Both the two main ones that Unifor utilizes in Canada are in Quebec and Ontario. The agreement does speak to meeting requirements of FOIPA and not just really giving out data. And also, so if they're doing any analysis or anything on data in general and how things are working, it would all be anonymous. So there is some protection on there regarding requests from foreign entities about accessing that data.
Vandenberg.
Yes, thank you through the chair. I wouldn't have necessarily brought this up, but to Director Main, and I appreciate your point of view. Some of us, like myself, don't see it that way. And I don't want that to be communicated to the public that we're talking about something that's political. It's not a part of this table. Some comments to do with security, contractual agreements, that sort of thing, which I have full confidence that our staff is protecting us that way. I would rather not get into those type of comments with our neighbors to the north, west, south, or east. And that's way beyond our scope, and a lot more happening there than what we can appreciate. So just wanted to make that in terms of the public. We all don't share the same points, nor should we be speculating on those.
So there's no motion on the floor. Oh my God, Graham, I'm so sorry.
Motion.
Thank you. Second page. Further discussion on the motion. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And I do think Vice Chair noted the kind of takeaway in regards to the, okay, great. All right, 8.4.2, we do have a hard stop at 11:45 with a lot to address at 11:45. So I'm going to keep going until that moment. Sorry. So moved. Thank you. Second. And the updated calendar was emailed out to you because when we updated it, it didn't quite get into eScribe, so it is in your email. Discussion. Paragraph.
Yeah, I just, December is a really, really busy month for all of us. I think we've felt it every year at this table. And I just question why we would be adding a workshop the week of board and all the rest. I know for me personally, I'll be, as well as this, assuming I get reelected, of course, be doing another volunteer thing I do with the Christmas hampers for the Castle Park Food Bank, and piling on a workshop on top of it. Like, I get that it's only a placeholder, but if this week has been 3.5 full days for me and a few others around the table, so.
Okay, no problem. Let's remove the placeholder for December. Done.
Great.
Okay.
That's easy.
Some things I can just do. Hewitt and then Newell.
You sounded defeated when you said, "Oh, good."
No,
Sorry,
it's the Newell part.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, we were just ready. Go ahead.
I'll just throw that out there, but the budget meeting scheduled for January 23rd. I was just wondering if there was any way that could either be moved to the 16th or the 30th, because that coincides with the CBT board meeting.
Can we have no sidebar conversation? I'm sorry, it interferes with people hearing online. Joe and Connie. Sorry, thank you. Hewitt, go ahead.
So it invites the CDT board meetings in Fairmont. So I would not be able to be physically in attendance, at least I won't be physically in attendance. I could do virtually at this point, depending what happens transpires on the CBT agenda, but I would like to be part of that budget discussion. And I don't want to go into the detail that I provided to our remuneration committee because it's details that I shouldn't be sharing widely, but there's reasons that I have to be the one who does the meeting, and I would like to be a part of it.
No problem. Can you add Graham to the list, please? In terms of moving our budget meetings, I am gonna say that it's quite challenging to do so, given when we get numbers, and we would have to all be verified that we would be here on the 30th. So right off the top, I'm just gonna note it's a big ask. I don't discount why you're asking. I don't know that we can confirm we would all be available on the 30th.
The chair, that would take some offline work. We just have to see if there's another date that would work.
Can you not please don't, just put your hand on the list. Thank you. Stuart, go ahead.
Yeah, through the chair, we'd have to do some work offline to see if there's another date that would work for everybody, if there's any point in getting into it now.
So I think we stick with what is, make your request, and if it can work, it will work. But at this time, it's not a super easy one on our end to accommodate. Yes.
How can I make said request?
You've done so. It's been made. Staff will follow up and look at it. So on the list, and I'm gonna cut you off at some point, I've got Newell, Graham, and Paige. Newell, go ahead.
I just can't remember why December's meetings are in the third week instead of the second.
Because that's what we decided. Why is it the third week? There was a reason. And
So through the chair, that is just right after the election. And so, there's orientation and other components that need to be added as well. So we extended that because otherwise it was gonna be very difficult for staff to be able to do that as well. I'm not sure if Stuart has any conflicts. That was what we kind of discussed at that time.
when we have a new term, we do put in quite a bit for orientation, which is not in this at this time. So that was the consideration on moving it to not an earlier week. That is the normal schedule. We just tend to do it early in December. But we do need to consider what orientation will look like. So that's the primary reason. And I was being cheeky with you on what we decided. Graham and then Paige.
Thank you. So through the chair, I would not be supportive of moving that budget meeting.
Okay.
Okay, like I've also have plans and have made plans for year for this, so just.
Thanks. Paige.
I would support moving the budget meeting. We have AKPLG board that day. We have budgets with the city of Nelson that day. So if we can find another, I'm in support. And given that it's an election year, I would leave the placeholder in for the workshop. We may find use for it.
Okay, we're not gonna figure out the budget move. We're gonna look into it, get back to you. We're gonna move it as it is today, because there's a lot more conversation to have around it, but noted. And you want the workshop placeholder.
It's an election year and.
So orientation is gonna be another thing that we plan for. So it's not orientation at this time, but we do know we will be fitting orientation into that schedule. And I'd rather switch it to orientation than call it a workshop. I'm sorry?
Yeah, no, those are my preferences.
Okay. Sorry, who do we have in chat there? David, go ahead. Okay, noted.
Just noted, Chair, I'm in a conference.
Okay. We'll work on January 30th. We'll try, no guarantees. I'd like to just move the calendar as is, and we will incorporate Hannah.
I'm just gonna say, why does it have to be a Friday? Why are we only looking?
Can we just
at
take it offline and we'll figure it out?
All right, good.
Just to note, this is everything we try to do to make it work for everybody, and there's a lot to consider. As is with potential changes down the road, all those in favor? Opposed? Carried. All right, we are now gonna break. Sorry, Dan. So what we have at 11:45 is first we will do public time, and then we have long-term service awards. What is it, Graham?
Is the public go there or do you want me to move?
No, don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. Thank you. Thank you for thinking about that. So first I'm gonna start with anybody online from the from the public and or the media. You're welcome to unmute and ask your question. Last number 47, put your hand up, or you have your hand up, go ahead and unmute.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, good. Good afternoon or good morning, everybody. It's Vita from Sandon. My question is on the dangerous dog bylaw in Area H. And so this is my question about public input and how it will be handled, possible use of the director assent. There is significant uncertainty in the communities about whether this bylaw could be approved by director assent or whether residents will have a chance to participate through a public consultation process or the AAP or a referendum. Can the board confirm whether director assent is being considered, and if not, what public approval method will be used, and when will that decision be made? For transparency, will the RDCK allow also release any staff notes and background information regarding this bylaw to date? Thank you.
Stuart?
Through the chair, director consent cannot be used in this instance. So that's not an option. It would be either AAP or referendum, and the board's yet to make that decision. With respect to notes, there's been a few reports that have come to the board over the last 6 months or so that would have all the information around the service case analysis and support for the potential establishment of that service.
Thank you. Are there other members?
Thank you very much, you guys.
Thank you, Vita. If you need those reports, we can email them to you. You have our contact. Other members of the public.
Yeah, I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Thanks. I see the number ending in 16 has unmuted. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is Deb Randall from Area J. I'm also calling about the dog service bylaw thing. And not because I'm in Area H, but because it sounds like really reminiscent of the failed garbage referendums, because this thing looks, I've read both the memos, and this looks like it's going forward based on engagement from 2020. And I might just remind, which was the same as the garbage referendum, roughly. And at the Area J town meeting, Yulee confirmed that they were proceeding based on like not even 5% of a positive response from the public. So my question to the board, and let's not even forget that there's no proof that dangerous dog bylaws even make a difference. There's a study done in 2012. But anyway,
Deb,
so my question,
thank you.
Yeah, is I'm asking if the board will commit to ensuring that there's robust community engagement that has happened, like what happened in 2020 and what will happen going, before any more steps are taken, and that the threshold to make this decision to take it further is like financially responsible. We wasted what, 40 grand on that referendum? And I just think that the board, what I'm asking, will the board take every step possible to ensure that this is a financially responsible thing to take forward?
Thanks, Deb. Stuart, can you answer?
Through the chair, the staff's going to provide as much information as we can, so the board makes a decision that they're comfortable with. And if the determination is to go to AAP or referendum to see whether or not the residents of Area H or A, B, and C wish to have dangerous dog bylaw, then that's the decision of the board.
Decision hasn't been made, but it will be considered. So thank you very much. Are there other members of media or the public online that would like to ask a question?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tracy.
Oh, I'm not sure how this works. Yeah, I just learned about this today, and came here to say I would think it would be great if people in the area could discuss it. There should be some public discussion about.
I'm sorry, what are you referencing?
The dog bylaw.
Okay, it's not on our agenda today, but it will be back in front of us for discussion. Do you have a specific question on it?
No, I just came here. I just wanted to say, I think that's it. That's my comment. I don't know.
Great.
I don't even know how to turn off my mic now. I'm sorry.
That's okay, Tracy. Thank you. Feel free to reach out to your director for more information or the past reports. Any other members of the public or media that would like to ask a question?
Here.
Online, I'll come to you in a moment. Okay, then in the room, yes, by all means, come up, ask your question.
Hi, I'm Mike Casper, live in Slogan Park. I'm happy to hear about dog bylaw as well. I know it's not on the agenda, but I'd like to ask the question from the board. Because I know the board has to approve it. So I did some research yesterday and what actually triggered me to come was an opinion paper. That said, while instances of dangerous or aggressive dog behaviors in the community are not common, the regional district is currently not prepared to address them in a way, said Mr. Jewell, I don't know who that was. So considering that we're in budget time and we're talking about adding more than $109,000 in the service, I also looked up the alternative approval process guide for BC, which says that there's a public perception about the matter being proposed during the discussions leading to bylaw required fair readings. And it appears it's going to be a controversial decision, which it seems like it's going to be. The board should consider that in the determination if it's going to be alternative approval process or not. So I'd like to ask the board here, when the time comes, I know it's not good time, please remember what I'm saying, that this is going to be a big deal.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Other members of the public who have a question for us in the audience? Come on up.
So not a question. My name is Brenton Ravy, and I'm here and would like to highlight some survey results from the largest provincial cannabis service in Canada ever, with over 23,500 British Columbians participating in the BC Cannabis Secretariat's 2025 Cannabis Use Survey. There is a link to this survey on the most recent UBCM Compass newsletter, as well as the Province of BC website. 36% of adults in the interior health region regularly consume cannabis. 44% of these are medical users. People are typically consuming cannabis at home, 95%, at friends' homes, 91%, in outdoor spaces, 36%, with only 4% consuming in specific dedicated consumption spaces, such as cafe patios. Common reasons for consuming include enjoyment, recreation, 35%, relief from pain, 33%, relaxation and calming, 24%. Cannabis is a substitution for harmful substances like alcohol, with 43% reporting consuming cannabis in place of alcohol, 23% reducing the amount of pain relievers that they use, 11% reducing pharmaceutical opiates, and 16% reducing their reliance on tobacco and nicotine. Stigma of cannabis users continues, with over 22% reporting negative judgments regarding their cannabis use. Cannabis consumption spaces like cafes and farm good tasting rooms are permitted and regulated by the federal and provincial governments. Local governments do have the authority to further regulate cannabis consumption spaces. I feel like there are opportunities for local businesses to add to community prosperity and to provide the needed social gathering spaces for the cannabis community to freely and openly express themselves.
Thanks, Brenton. Other members of the public who have, generally it's a question for us, but fine. You good? Okay, we are also doing our annual long-term service awards as the staff fill in the room. I haven't actually looked at who's on this list. It's Vita's hand. Vita, if you can take your hand down, thank you so much. Nope. It's the mouse. Okay. And sorry, Ange, I didn't ask this, but the order in which I'm doing it. Okay. Oh yeah, first on the list. Okay. So first we're starting with Stuart Durning, 30 years of service in community, 30 years with us in community services. Stuart.
30.
Like comments that.
We're gonna see here. It's for you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
Sincerely, 30 years. Wow. Do you got me if you want to? You don't have to. Not putting on the spot.
It's been amazing to be a part of so much change. For the community and for the regional district, it's truly been a gift. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. You ever heard of this guy, Mr. Duel? Where are you? 20 years in corporate admin. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And for the camera. Thank you so much, Tom. And Chris, Leonard?
Money, where do you go?
Thank you. Years in IT. Oh, thank you so very much for your time. There you go.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Quick
thank you.
follow Here too, Chris. Thank you.
And Ryan, I saw you online. Did you come in or you? Oh, there you are. Sorry, I did see you online. And you have been a facility manager at NDCC for 10 years. Community services. You got the logo and everything. Jay, did you make it in? Jay, come on out. So Jay's in water services for a decade. Thank you. They're very fun. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Just flew by.
And Paula Lund, we have you in finance for 10 years. Are you with us today, Paula?
I am.
Oh, Paula, oh my God. Never knew your last name.
Well, it's half the last name.
Hudson Lund.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Paula.
I accept your apology.
Can I get a photo with you, Paul? I am gonna get a photo. If you could just.
Oh, no, I don't do pictures.
Just
I
one.
have my.
One quick one.
There. Thank you.
Connie, I saw you. There you go. Thank you so very much, Connie, for your years of service.
Thank you for the opportunity. I took a deep breath and 10 years went by.
Thank you. Lisa, Recreation Services for 10 years. Are you with us?
Lisa didn't come through.
Okay, thank you, Craig. Do you want to take this to her? I'll just put it aside. Thanks, Craig.
Which Lisa?
Lisa Deer. Sorry, I should say the full names. Lynn Anderson with Resource Recovery. Lynn, hello. Been with us for 5 years. Thank you. Yeah, welcome. Yeah. Good to have you. Good. Thank you. Thank you. Corey Scott, I did see you come in. There you are. I gotta say, it was 5 years in planning. You may have got maybe some stuff done, not that planning takes, but planning takes forever. Not your fault. It's
Such is the
planning.
nature of
Yes, that's what I should have said. I know you're here, Craig. Craig Stanley. Craig, it's great to see you in person.
too.
I know, we see
You
you
too.
online all the time. Thank you. Pam Melico? Pam. Pam is a waste attendant with us for 5 years. Thank you so much, Pam. 5 years of service. We really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Karen Jorgensen, also a waste attendant for 5 years. That you can come on up. Thank you, Karen, so much for your years of service. There you go. Dan's gonna make us a section.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, All of our race attendants, we don't get to see you guys very much unless we go to the transfer stations. Just want to note, thank you. All of our staff, but Mike, Delclash. Thank you so much.
If you include the part-time one.
Oh.
That, no, I also would like to make mention, I'm a bit of a legacy, is my mom. One of her first jobs when we moved here in 1992 was with the Nelson District Aquatic Center. And she ran the child minding program up until 2007.
Oh,
So she was 15 years of service, I think before these came out, but just wanted to bring that up.
Thank
Give a
you.
shout out to my mom.
Thank you. Please do pass that on to. Oh, wait. Come on, Dan. That gets to be in a picture. 5 years. Yeah, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
And did you tilt the camera a bit? So it's-
Yeah.
I did record it.
So we have a few that are not attending, but I am gonna name them and ask if anyone's correct if I say it wrong. We have Bill Kutnikoff, who's been with us for 25 years as a site operator. Thank you, Bill. Sheila Kutnikoff, who's been with us also for 25 years with as a landfill attendant. Cody Peck, utilities technician for 20 years. Rob Chernenko, who has been with, he's here. Fabulous. Come on up. Thank you for coming in 20 years.
Yes, and all of them. Thank you.
You don't have the card key, but we'll get it for you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Sangeeta is here, isn't she? Oh, Sangeeta's been with us for 15 years. I saw her this morning. Yeah. Okay.
It's a meeting consensus while that she's chairing, so she didn't get.
Okay, we'll allow that. Alan Richardson, also 15 years. Gordon Jameson, 15 years, site operator, environmental services. Daryl Zoll, financial analysis, finance, he's not here. Okay, he's been with us for 15 years. Jesse Wetter in community services, lifeguard, head lifeguard for 10 years. Jeff Phillips, regional parks, community services for 10 years. Jeff didn't come in?
Jeff's in Mexico.
Oh. He doesn't get a card today. Abby Bodrick, environmental services for 5 years as an admin assistant. Nadine Trottier, recycling and waste educator for 5 years. And Glenn Wright, accounts payable finance 5 years. Taylor Menzies, recycling and waste educator, 5 years. And Steve McCrae, community services for 5 years, as facility maintenance. And Justin. Thank you. Operations supervisor at Castlegar for 5 years. That's incredible. Thank you, everybody, all of our staff, for all of you. So I have one more I'd like to acknowledge that is not staff, but it is a director who's been with us for 3 terms. Newell, do the math on that?
Those numbers,
Okay. So Director Main, this is your last board meeting with us. And I just want to really acknowledge all of your years of work as a community leader. I've seen you at every Rule Affairs Committee meeting. Not that's the only thing to acknowledge you for, but just to note, thank you as a municipal director for all of your participation. You've been our member at FCM for many years. And you're probably the first one that encouraged me to be as wild as I am. So thank you for that. Thank you, Director. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Chair, on privilege, there's one more.
Or for for.
Oh, yes, go ahead, Director Davidoff, I'm sorry.
Thank you. I just want to give, to recognize, Chief Greg Patterson's 35 years of service. And Chief Patterson retired, and his last day was on November 29th. And we had an appreciation dinner at the Terry's Fire Hall, and he received a rousing send-off. And just incredible, like what our firefighters do to serve 35 years, 40 years, and I think Hans is pushing or almost at 50 years service. But I just want to recognize Chief Patterson and all of our volunteer firefighters for all they do for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Davidoff. Hey, did I miss anybody in? Okay. So, and now we get to have our annual Christmas lunch with staff. I'm going to ask the members of the public, thank you so much for being present. We are going to ask you to please go and have some lunch. If you want to come back at 1 o'clock, you're welcome. 1:30. We are going to go for an hour and a half today, a little longer, to take the time to spend some time with our staff. So any members of the public who would like to come back at 1:30, you may do so. Okay, let's break for lunch. We are on 8.5, emergency services. This is the Indigenous Engagement Project. And I do just want to comment that we did amend the motion a little bit because we do want to take a review on this letter. So the executive will review it as well. Definitely open to suggestions, but not wordsmithing. Ideally, we just make a motion to send these letters and we would work on them. Thank you, Paige. Second. Thank you, Hannah Graf. Discussion. 8.5.1. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. I'm sorry, Dan, was that the whole thing you were waiting for? Oh, poor guy, man.
Can you see, it's not, I would think, a Bob of a staff member?
Oh, Connie was sitting there. We'll figure it out. Thank you.
So, the ridge line, Monday, parking lot.
Okay, 8.6.1, these are grants. Did someone have a change to the discretionary grants that emailed me and okay, would anyone like to move this motion? Thank you, Graham. Thank you, Cunningham. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Community development. Thank you, Maine. Thank you, Weatherhead. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. I have an amendment. I'll move it. And just super proud of this one. Do I have a second? Thank you. This is, sorry, 8.6.2.2. Discussion. It's 3,000. Thank you. I checked, AP already knew. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And 2025 financial service grant. Anyone like to move that motion? Moved, seconded, ask the question. Go ahead.
Small correction, but I think it's kind of important on the second bullet, page 27. They have actually removed M district from their name. They're now just Castlegar Community Service Society.
We note that for. Okay.
Carol.
Sorry. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And the cuts, Barry and Kate.
So moved.
Thank you. Second, thank you. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Thank you. Theo left. I guess he's got nothing to tell us. For chair, I did attend a meeting, the one I can think of right off the top of my head. I attended the Kootenai Lake Board of Control meeting. As multiple hats, but as chair, I will let you know that if you're interested, they did just post the presentation and the recording. This regards the 1938 order on Corlin Dam. And so it's very much of interest to all of us. And the coordinator for this phase of the work is working with Sangita to plan a meeting to work with the regional district on the various aspects. Right off the top, the Kootenai Lake inundation study we did a few years ago, Forest funded, will be one of the things that is looked at for consideration on levels. So any questions you have on that, probably don't ask me, but just wanted you to know I've taken notes. Dr. Jackman was there, and there'll be more meetings. So if you haven't seen it, it's on their website. I can circulate the presentation and recording to you. Go ahead.
Can you circulate it?
Yes.
Just to make it easy, thanks.
And I'm sorry, I'm just checking my calendar. I should have made notes on things I was going to talk to you guys about. I'm pretty sure that was it. Yeah, that is it for open. Stuart, do you have any reports?
There's something at the beginning of the meeting.
Oh, good question.
There was something that came up at the beginning of the meeting and I said, I'll talk about that during my report. And now
I was like,
forgot what that was.
Decades ago.
Yeah. Was it Tom? Was it related to Tom?
Must have been.
Yeah, it was
I feel like
probably
Director Newell was the catalyst of this.
okay.
General Manager Community Services, competition is complete. I will be making an announcement the latest by Monday. So that has to go through its final stages.
Oh, you were going to mention we're a level 1.
Oh, yes, level 1 EOC for monitoring only, really location specific, but we do have some monitors actually just approved some emergency monitors to take a look at some of the stream flows in certain areas. As you can see, we've laid off a little bit. I think the Lower Mainland and Fraser Valley is still getting hit pretty hard, so we're relatively comfortable that nothing's going to come of it. But if we activate to level 1, we can at least put in an EAF for those monitors that are out there and submit that to the province. So
EF being expense
and expense form, expense authorization form.
There you go. Okay. Good. Rural Affairs Committee, over to you, Director Jackman.
Hey, thank you. So we have 6 items arising from yesterday morning for Rural Affairs. One of them, 2 that moves along. As usual, with board delegation received applicant delegations for people who were involved in land use infraction files or issues. We had 3 delegations in person yesterday. Go through the first 2. I'd like to move as a block. They are for Area G, Bouchard, and property. First motion is to amend land use bylaw number 30/15/2025 to amend the Area G land use bylaw 2452. You give the first and second reading and the third public hearing. The second motion is to appoint Director Cunningham to chair the public hearing.
Do you second that?
Did I second the first motion? I don't think it was.
Second is fine.
Second, civil one.
Yeah, it says the block. Yeah. Further discussion on the motion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
Okay, third recommendation, again, one of the delegations, Tim. This is Area E. This is for a non-farm use in agricultural land reserve. So it's an application that would go to the Agricultural Land Commission. The recommendation is the board support the application 82508. This is a non-farm use in the property as described. And the board directs staff to advance the application details.
Do we have a second? Thank you, Tierney. Discussion?
Major comment, so the public understands the LT will with this, and if it comes back, then there has likely the next step will be a public hearing because there'll be other land use implications, so there are more public steps on this. There's been regional and community interest, but this is just the next logical step to move forward.
Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried.
So we had, the third delegation is referred back, so you won't see anything from that other delegation. However, the next recommendation of the RAC is, rising from item 4.54, planning services work plan review. So I'd like to move that the board direct staff to initiate a sub-regional official community plan update for areas F, H, J, and K, and the area D community plan. And that these projects be the top priority for the planning department work.
We have a second. Thank you. Me too. Can I just note the wording on this is slightly awkward.
There are two separate projects.
Two separate projects, and area D is not an official community plan. So I think staff know what we're doing, but I'm not gonna get in trouble. Okay, good.
So if we were to insert the word, because the same thing after I work with minutes, staff initiate the sub-regional and staff
further
initiate the area D community planning. Repeated the word and staff initiated. It would be very clear the two separate things would have make better sense.
And should you follow that?
Adding staff, to
And
initiate twice.
Yeah, kind of breaking the first part, repeating that for the second one. Okay.
Initiate sub-regional and initiate the area D.
You good with that?
Yeah.
As the standard?
Absolutely.
Okay, great, thank you. Further discussion. All those in favor? Opposed, carried, and my apologies, we do need to be mindful of folks online when we're talking, and I was doing it myself, one at a time, so everyone online can hear us. Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
So next item, the numbering, I didn't catch is kind of here. This arises from one of the previous work on items. It's maybe controversial, but I moved the board direct staff to take no further action to initiate a housing development and costing study.
We have a second. Thank you, Graham. Discussion. Paige.
Yeah, I just wanted to, ask the board not to move forward with a no action on this item. As a bit of a backstory, this was, identified priority work coming out of the Greater Nelson Economic Development Partnership when we did our greater sub-regional housing assessment in the initials, and one of the priorities that came out of that, aside from policy work and aside from working with the nonprofits, was having the local government partners identify land that was potentially suitable for community organizations to pursue many of the provincial and federal grants to develop non-market affordable housing. I understand with the scope of everything that's going in planning and rural affairs that there may be some nebulous understanding of what this could all entail, but on its very most functional and minimal basis, this is the land inventory of RDCK owned land and the opportunities where housing could be developed there so that these other groups could have the opportunity to see what's possible and then chase those projects. So I don't think it needs to be as big of a work plan item as maybe has been contemplated. I did talk to Nelson about this and reinforce kind of where this had come from originally. And I think it should continue on. It may not be a high priority. I completely appreciate the backlog. I'm trying to get some of our planning foundational documents sorted out, but I think we need to keep it on the work plan. I think we need to figure out how we can deliver the initial value out there so that other groups can start contemplating where there's more opportunity. Like, we need to keep in mind the vast majority of housing in the regional district is in the rural component of the regional district, and so it cannot just be on the municipality alone to be addressing the affordability crisis in our communities, and we need items like this to push the envelope forward and get clarity on how we can be supporting this regional district, the affordable housing crisis.
Thank you. So I'm on the speakers list with Jackman, as one of several directors who did agree to remove this. I do want to speak to why and not to discount what you're indicating, Director Page. A couple of things. One is just we have massive amounts of land that don't even have planning in place. And so when it comes to priorities on what we can do with our planning department, we are decades behind on catching up with that. So we had to prioritize. That is where it's not saying that this isn't important, but in terms of priorities, we are well behind where we need to be to even look at things like that. The second piece was, and and this again is my own input as a director at that committee where we reviewed the work plan for 2 years. Most of the land RDCK owns is specific to services. It's not actually available land that we own without anything on it. I do think there'd be opportunity for, given the report you're referencing was for Nelson and area, there'd definitely be opportunity to work within the areas to look at a specific project within those areas. But as an RDCK whole plan, it's very difficult for us to prioritize that or even have it on the work plan when we know we're at least 10 years out from even catching up to where we need to be. So I just wanted to provide you some of that feedback. I couldn't recall, I know you're often in our meetings and I didn't recall if you heard that part. So just wanted to let you know where we were coming from. I don't want to discount the importance, but really we need to get our planning caught up. And this alone took 2 years to get to. I'll just add, I've been waiting for 8 years for zoning. And so that's where I got actually deal with land use regulations before I can even consider affordable housing. 24 communities, one with the water system. That's kind of the level that we're looking at. So I want to provide that feedback, Jackman.
So I could see a request coming back. I mean, to pay more respect to Nelson City, Nelson's request, that is more focused. And maybe it have to be laid out in a different way because, you know, we've had a lot more conversations. It's correct what he just said. He's had some other discussions. You know, this specific request was the inventory. Then we have this stage that, like, GIS can certainly give inventory. And then you gotta go to water services, say is any land surplus or available, or some of it's leased, we lease tech land for some of our water services, reservoir location. Is it even available? Landfills, no, but transfer stations, some are located on legacy landfills. So there's a process through environmental services to acquire the landfill. Is it a fire service? I know some of the fire services have looked to acquire more land because they have additional apparatus, they have to house it. So again, that's a whole other conversation, it's not development services. We go to the fire services using this GIS development we have, and then parks where we borrow to obtain parkland without voter assent. We have very narrow guardrails on what we can do. We can't just turn the land into something else. We have to undo or borrow and then refund that somewhere else. So the nature and availability of our lands, as you indicate, is very complex and it spreads across all our services and most of the service specific. So this came back as a very focused request to look for inventory, maybe it's not the entire regional district. And then that would have to be vetted through each department, if it's non-starter, even go any further down that path with these constraints. But right now, it just seems to sit there as one of the blocks that we've had as rural committee to move on with the legislative mandated work of OCP updates in this planning zone related work. So it could come back. But I don't regret making this recommendation, however it's perceived now, maybe we just gotta stop and back ourselves from that rethink.
Thank you. No one else on the speakers list? All those in favor? Those opposed? Paige recorded opposed? Would you like to be, no, okay. That passes.
There's one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is a bit of an outlier. It would have been on a water services committee agenda, but we didn't hold it in December. So they asked because we had kind of the right individuals in the room. It's biggest impact on a very lean Alpha residents. So we put it there so we get the board in a timely fashion with this time sensitive. So I moved. This is the lease agreement with Alpha Water Services Bill. And this is to provide space on an ongoing basis, actually for a post office within one of our properties, so we have these unusual relationships. I move the board approve the interim lease agreement with Ellen County for lease of Alpha Water Services Building for 1 year as described.
Thank you, Director Graham. Discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, number 10, I have a director's motion on here to write a letter of concern, opposition to the Ministry of Housing and Municipal Affairs regarding Bill 216, Professional Reliance Act. I'm going to move the motion. See the second. Thank you, Lockwood. You'll note the two items attached to this as reference that would be used to write the letter. One was written by Chair Horn from MAI. Thank you. And then the other was the UBCM report on this proposed act. So when it comes to writing a letter, we would do something similar. Of course, the MIA one has a bit of a different context or purview than what we might look at, but it's very much feeding that. So that's what I'm seeking, and we would write, there's a few going through other local governments as well, so we look at those templates. Discussion. Jackman.
If I can, I've written this as my mini grants separately. We have partnerships that 90 whatever % of the time are very successful between building officials and professionals. And I don't want to see that partnership break down and become well, we don't think this is right now, we gotta go sideways in this other long process to challenge this. Partnership relationship, most of them works. You hear about every time it doesn't work, it becomes a notice on title. But there are so many more partnerships that work. And I would think the same with any of the professionals that are looking at something with development services, or whether it's just Deep Creek or these different professional reviews saying this is safe for intended use of that stuff. It's a partnership, it goes back and forth, and staff are free to talk to the people about, well, you should have this or that, and once in a while it breaks down. And again, it comes to us, we see it as an action and a negative. But I'm sure the vast majority of the time, it's a partnership arrangement between professionals and staff who know the area, the locality, all the intricacies, works very well. And this motion is looking at breaking that partnership, creating an adversarial relationship where you gotta now say, I don't like what you're doing, I'm gonna go over here, get somebody to challenge you. It just makes no sense.
I believe that's in support of the motion. That's
Absolutely.
Okay, further discussion? All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Dr. David, off to you.
Thank you, Chair. So I saw the letter that staff had written, and I have a question. Has that letter been sent, or is that a draft letter?
No, that letter's been sent. It was draft, discussed at joint resource last month, I believe.
Okay. Given that the letter's been sent, and what I was proposing here is a little bit stronger than what was contained in the letter, I'm going to withdraw my notice of motion, but I wish the letter had been a little bit stronger. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Thanks, Director Davidoff. We can also note that should we get a response and make sure that we always receive those on the agenda, and we could always further make comment post that point, make it stronger at that time if you'd like.
Okay, thank you.
Point of order, do we still have to move no further action here?
We just don't move the motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've withdrawn the motion, Chair.
Yeah. All right, thank you. 10.3, Director Hewitt.
Well, it's pretty obvious what my motions are that the board approve director's stipend and expenses for the director's input organizational review workshop held Friday, November 14th, 2025, and that expenses be paid from general administration S100.
Do you want this as a block or? Okay, we'll do them as one. That was seconding Leatherhead. Okay, it's on the floor. Discussion. Jackman.
I'd rather our stipend recognized. We do lots of stuff, go to lots of meetings, whether individually or as a group, without the add-ons.
I think that
already some add-ons.
yeah, and the remuneration committee is reviewing that in anticipation of the next term, but I think that direction's been made several times that next term, that's what should be reflected. Graham?
Thank you, through the chair. I'm opposed to number 2 because it was an hour and a half meeting.
So let's talk about number 2 when we get to number 2. They're not
Right now, it's blocked.
No, we opted not to do a block. I'm sorry, but I'll come back to you on that one. Okay, thank you. And just to clarify on this first one, this requires the directors to submit the claim, correct? It's not automatic.
Yes, through the chair, and we're trying to streamline that because I know that there's still a few meetings where we expect the forms to be submitted. So we're trying to put in a process where attendance is taken regardless of the type of meeting it is. If it's a meeting, our stipend would be paid, and then we can just pay off the attendance and get rid of the forms.
Okay.
For everything other than an alternate attending a meeting.
However, I do think with workshops, we can then opt in or out of this in terms of getting, because we can submit at our discretion.
Right, and that's another, factor that plays into it, because if you submit it and you prefer not to, then you can just go on the submissions.
Okay, so for this one, you will need to submit should it go through, okay? Further discussion? All those in. David Opp, are you wanting to speak?
Yeah, I just want to note that I will not be submitting, that like if this passes, I will not be submitting expenses for the workshops. Thank you.
Not a problem. Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. And go ahead with number 2, and then I'll go back to you, Brown.
Okay, the board approved director's stipend and expenses for the regional and local community needs project board workshop held on Tuesday, December 9, 2025, and that expenses be paid from general administration service as well.
Is there a second? Thank you, Newell. Discussion. I'll go to Graham first.
I'm not going because it was an hour and a half meeting. For $222 each.
Okay, so you're opposed to that. That was your point. Hannah Graff,
Yeah, I'm opposed to, I think calling it a workshop would be overstating it. I bet there wasn't really any prep required. We were simply receiving information and asking questions, and it was just an hour and a half from 10 to 11:30, so I can't support it.
Is that a hand up?
It is.
Yeah, go for it.
Just through the chair, just for context, for some people, it's if you actually come to the meeting, it becomes a full day. So I appreciate that there's and if we're and this kind of refers back to the previous motion. Directors are compensated differently. So a rural director gets substantially more than a municipal director, and if we're expected to take full days off work to come to things, then that's a fairly significant financial hit.
Thank you. I do want to note, and I'm not saying it's wrong in what you stated, but we do have homework from this workshop. So there is maybe not pre-homework, but there is post-homework on this one. And that's also a friendly reminder. You have an email with that homework involved in it. Further discussion.
Yeah, I just want to I want to comment that if directors incur expenses, lose work time and all that kind of stuff, I don't want to block them being able to access this. I just want to know that I will not be requesting it. That's all. Thanks, Chair.
Thanks, David. McFadden, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. I've always gone to broken records to say every time these things come up, is that I just don't understand that this wouldn't just be an expectation of a part of our wage, as even with the wages that we have. And you'll see that with looking through the rumination, I can't say the word, that committee. Is that we are paid very well compared to other regional districts. We're actually quite a bit higher than most other regional districts for very similar metrics. And most of them don't have extra pay for all these extra things. So I can't support it. Although if it goes through, I will be submitting something because my taxpayers are paying for everyone else to be there. So I feel like they should pay for me to be there too if everyone else is getting paid for it. So you get stuck in this middle ground, right? Where it's like, okay, yeah, I could not submit it, but now they're paying for every other region to be there, but not me to be there. So if it goes through, I will submit it, but I'd prefer if it just didn't go through. Yeah, anyways.
I appreciated that further explanation. Just like, where are you going with that? Got it. Good one. Okay, further discussion. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, thank you. 5.
I saw 2 online.
Online, can you put your hands up, please? For those in favor? 6, 7. Okay, those opposed? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What was my first count?
Carries. 7, 10 online.
It carries?
Well, non-indicated names not.
Okay, sorry, we're just gonna do this. Jackman.
Opposed.
Tierney.
Opposed.
Vandenberg.
Opposed.
Myself, opposed. Graham.
Opposed.
Newell.
In favor.
Cunningham. Popoff.
Favor.
In favor.
Thank you. Davidoff.
Opposed.
Hanegraaff.
Opposed.
Weatherhead.
In favor.
McFadden.
Opposed.
DeBoon.
In favor, but I won't be submitting.
That's fine. Hewitt.
In favor.
McLaren Co.
In favor.
Page.
Favor.
Fight.
Opposed.
Lockwood.
Opposed.
Maine.
In favor.
Lund.
Opposed.
Yeah, defeated. Okay, that's not weighted, right? Okay, defeated. All right, you can submit for the regional work, or sorry, the organizational review, not for the community needs project. Director Main, your motion.
Yes, on behalf of my council, that the board directs staff to prepare an amendment for Community Sustainable Living Service Establishment Bylaw number 2135, 2010, to remove Village of Silverton from the service, and the bylaw be brought to the December 2027 board meeting to meet the 24-month notice for withdrawal.
Is there a second? Thank you. Discussion. Sustainability, I have a lot to talk about the next year. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. All right, in the consent agenda, is there any minutes that need to be edited or corrected? Vandenberg?
Just a question, and it's around the need for such, referring to 11.1.1, rule of mobility. These are minutes that were put together as a result of meeting with committees within that work. Those minutes already form CSLAC minutes. So I'm just wondering, why do they need to come to board?
Board receives all of them. These are not minutes. CAC's community advisory committees are meeting notes. They're not formal committees. They're advisory committees.
Well, they look like minutes, but.
Yeah, there's actually, go ahead, Ange.
So through the chair, as per the Rural Mobility Community Advisory Committee bylaw, it indicates that the discussion notes go to both CSLAC and the board. So it's just part of the bylaw.
And part of that is because the work is not limited to the participants in CSAC, as we mentioned earlier. It actually references the whole region.
Okay, thank you.
Further discussion on any of these questions? Okay. Accounts payable, any questions? Graham?
Just one thank you through the chair is, Boughton Law Corporation for $519,000.
The chair, that's the purchase of the land next to the landfill in Creston. That was a transaction at Yakima.
Thank you. All right, director's report. Thank you very much. All right, we're at a closed meeting. I'll take a motion to close the public meeting. Thank you. Exclude the public. Thank you very much for coming in, Sean. Sean, right? Okay, I remembered. Have a great day. And a motion to recess open meeting. Thank you. All those in favor? Opposed?